Okay, shalom everybody. Hope everybody is doing well today. Shout out Carl Cobb and his congregation in Guatemala. Hope everybody is staying strong, doing their thing. Also, shout out SOW family, Zaki in Virginia, Quatazop in Houston, Zion in Rochester, New York. Hope everybody's fighting a good fight. Happy Passover to everybody. Hope everybody is celebrating this high holy day with happiness and peace of mind. Today we're going to continue on our topic that our Sabbath topics like normal. We'll go into Jonathan's friends and a mammon in a bit. We want to finish off. That's going to be dealing in chapter 12. But we're going to first of all start off sending our prayers up. And I'm giving the Most High His honor. So, Mamajam, Wapanya, Yerushalayim. That's just us. What's that? Rakta Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua.
Rakta Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua.
Hawa Nathan Lanawa. Award. Zayawam. Thawada. Aman.
Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, that gives us the light this day. Thank you, so be it.
Rakta Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua.
Rakta Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua.
Hawa Nathan Lanawa. Raya. Naya Chacha. Thawada. Aman.
Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, that gives us the sweet savor. Thank you, so be it.
Imagine Wapanya Yerushalayim.
Then I face Jerusalem.
Rakta Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua.
Rakta Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua.
Hawa Nathan Lanawa. Shabbat. Ba'Shalom. Thawada. Aman.
Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, that gives us the Sabbath and peace. Thank you, so be it.
Psalms 121. Anasya. Ayanyamya. Ahoria. Ma'aya. Yabua'a. Isaiah. Yabua'a. Ma. Yahweh. Sha'aisha. Shemayim. Wa'aratiza. La'a. Yanathan. Lamawat. Regalia. Yala'a. Nawam. Shashamoya. Ana. Yala'a. Nawam. Wala'a. Your son. Shashawamar. Yasharala. Yahweh. Shemoya. Yahweh. Cesaria. Ayo. Yanyamya. Yad. Hashemash. Yala'a. Hakaya. Bayawam. Wala'a. Halabana. Balayala. Yahweh. Yashemoya. Makol. Rad. Yashemor. Napasha. Yahweh. Yashemor. Awalakia. Wa'aya. Ma'itha. Wa'ai. I will
Amen. Psalms 121 in English. I will lift up my eyes to the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even evermore. Amen.
Israelite Credo. Shemaya Sharada. Yahweh. Alahayim Noah. Yahweh. Achad. Shema Yasharala, Yahweh, Elohim Noah, Yahweh Echad. Shema Yahshua Yahweh Elohim Yahweh Echad.
Deuteronomy 6 and 4. Hear, O Israel, our power, he is one.
Let's pray. Abinah, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malak Wata, Taba'ah, Batazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'aratza, Kawah, Hayah, Bashemayim, Letamanoah, Lacham, Kol, Yawam, Wasalatano, Chawabino, Chasalatano, Chawabino, Wala'ah, Tabyano, Monasarawan, Abo, Abshano, Mayan, Wa, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwa, Waha'ala, Wahatapa'ara, La'alalanyam. Amen.
Lord's Prayer in English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come. Thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, ever. Amen.
Amen. 10 Commandments. La'ayahaya, Laka, Elahaya, Achoya, Hanya.
Thou shalt no other power before me.
Number 2. La'ah, Ta'ayna, Laka, Kasor, Wala'ah, Ta'aybara.
Thou shalt not make a thee any graven image, nor serve them.
Number 3. La'ah, Talach, Sham, Yahweh, Bashua.
Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy power in vain.
Number 4. Zakor, Hayawam, Hashabbat, Lakodashua.
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
Number 5. Kabad, Abaka, La'amaka.
Honor thy father and thy mother.
Number 6. La'ah, Farataza.
Thou shalt not kill, murder.
Number 7. La'ah, Tana'ah.
Thou shalt not commit adultery.
Number 8. La'ah, Taganah.
Thou shalt not steal.
Number 9. La'ah, Ta'inah, Shakur.
Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor.
Number 10. La'ah, Fachamad, Kol, Asherah, Labraika.
Thou shalt not covet anything which is thy neighbor's.
Yahweh by Shem Yahshai.
Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, that gives us the law.
Israel Yeshabu. Okay, Israel, once again, I hope everybody's doing well today. Shabbat Shalom. Let's try to get the maximum we can out of today's lesson. Where we're at now, well, we're just going to start reading. But where we're at now is, like normal, Esau is constantly fighting for power and supremacy in this Seleucid region. And we're like knee deep in the midst of it. Okay? The new front runner, or the new king to be, which is Antiochus the Sixth, is about to write a letter to Jonathan asking for his help in order to rally and gather all of the rest of the military in the cold Syria region. Because what's happening is Antiochus the Sixth, backed by Trypho, or Tryphon, depending on where you're reading, is going against Demetrius II. Now, Trypho and Antiochus VI defeated Demetrius II and removed him out of his headquarters in Antiochia, which is in present-day Turkey. But he's not completely out of power yet. He's just on the run and is relocated in Cilicia which is southwest of Antioch. So his military is still a threat,
Okay.
and he still has jurisdiction in all of the cold Syria region.
Yeah.
It's like this. Just because Demetrius II lost a battle in the capital city of Antiochia doesn't mean all the other jurisdictions of his region are defeated or swayed.
Like
or,
any war.
What's that?
Like any war. You might conquer one city, but that doesn't mean the other cities are conquered. You won the battle, but you haven't won the war.
Or capitulate. Meaning,
Yeah.
it's one thing that the region in Antioch fell, but it doesn't mean that all the other vassals
Have broken.
have made a decision to switch allegiances.
Okay.
Okay, so that's what's happening now. So Antiochus VI is about to reach out to Jonathan and say, hey, go down through this whole Syria region, because they know you and they know what your military, how strong they are.
Yeah.
So we have a better chance
Yeah.
of claiming the region if they know you're backing me, Antiochus VI, and you've defected from Demetrius II. Don't forget, Demetrius II turned on Jonathan and is forcing Jonathan to pay all the tax that he once said you don't have to pay. He's switching up on him.
He went back on his word, but the question
He's
was
going back
how
on
many
his
years
word.
It was like
Well, I don't know,
Okay.
but he's going back on his word. And Jonathan said, well, if you're going to renege on me, I'm not going to keep my military backing.
okay.
So now Antiochus is in an allegiance with Jonathan. Acknowledge his position. It's like, okay, listen, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. Get this
Okay.
region in line
Okay.
to fight under me, and I got your back.
So it's a beneficial.
So
on both
it's a
sides.
bunch of politicking back and forth. And Jonathan's in the middle of a political battle. On top of the fact that his military prowess is known in the region. So more chances than not, they're going to lock into the direction that he's pushing. So with that being the case, let's go to 1 Maccabees chapter 11, verse 57. Karai, let's get you set up. I just went there, man. No, I'm just okay.
So what's the sound?
You're just taking the risk of knocking it down, and everything looks weird.
Correct. Shah Shabbatah. Banashah. Banashala.
Alright, Shah Shabbatah, Banashah, Banashah, Amatu, Yahweh Hashem Shabbatah.
How about Shem Yashabakatam?
Alright. I might need you today, okay? So get your get yourself together. You too. You're next. After him. You're ready. Drop those toys. You're about to read. I'm messing
I
with
had a good time.
you. Okay, read that. First Maccabees 11, verse 57.
First Maccabees, chapter 11, and verse 57. At that time, young Antiochus wrote unto Jonathan, saying,
This is Antiochus VI. He's a young man. He's not of age. Trypho's the one making all decisions, but he's reaching out to Jonathan to establish a political alliance so that he can kind of get his hands on the reign. Read on.
At that time, young Antiochus wrote unto Jonathan, saying, I confirm thee in the high priesthood, and appoint thee ruler over the 4 governments, and to be one of the king's friends. Upon
So what is he saying? He's like, listen, he's like saying, you're going to be a friend now. You really can't trust those words because Demetrius said he was a friend also.
Yeah, they both said.
But he's like, listen, you're the king's friend. I acknowledge your rule. Don't forget, this is what the United States did to the president of Syria. Just I would say 2 years ago, the president of Syria, they had a $10 million bounty on his head. $10 million Al-Qaeda bounty on his head. Now he's a friend of the president. He got a fade out and went to the White House out in a suit. he shaved his Taliban hairstyle out. He cut it out, got a trim out, and got a nice blue suit out, and he's shaking.
No more rags.
No more rags. He's got a blue suit. They literally sent people to teach him how to talk.
Is his beard got trimmed a little bit?
That's what I'm saying. His beard got trimmed. He got a fade. Now he's going to the White House side, and Trump gave one of those friendly handshakes like this. No, he gives those yeah. He gives those. Besides the black guys, he don't give the black guys those hands. You ever see him go to military bases out? There'll be like 5 Edomites, like a black guy in the middle. He'll sit back and get the white guy. He'll bypass the brother and get 2 more strong. I've seen it like twice. Why aren't you shaking the brother's hands? Huh? Anyway, that's something I've observed. So what's happening? The same thing that happened back then. These fake alliances, because I need you. It's the same thing what's happening in Syria now. I like this guy because he took out Bashar al-Assad. Now we have control of the oil. Listen, I don't know if you heard this, but Bashar, the leader of Syria, said, listen, we are open to using our oil and creating a pipeline so that Europe can get oil.
Yeah, I heard about that.
But that's the point. So now he's the sellout. They said listen, Obama said the same thing and pitched the same deal to Bashar al-Assad in 2011. He said no. And all of a sudden he says, if you say no, we're going to mark you a terrorist and get you out of here. That's what they said. So they had to get rid of the Syrian leader to bring in a puppet guy so you can get more oil to flow through Europe and you can bypass who? Russia. They were trying to bypass Russia many years ago. Instead of using the European pipeline that Russia had set up through Germany, they wanted to bypass that pipeline and run it through the Saudis. But they needed Syria as the intermediary.
But can't they blow it up anyway?
They did. Nord Stream, they blew it up. But once again, they were trying to do it clean. And run the pipeline. You got lucky.
You got really lucky.
You got lucky. But they was going to run the pipeline.
He's happy.
I know you're smiling. Listen, he's reading the hell out of the Bible right now. I better be alert. Listen, I still might call you. Listen, he's more intent now than ever.
He was awake.
Listen, he was focused. Anyway, I caught him. I saw him. You see the eyes at?
Saluting in birth.
He was in the
Sorry, visit call.
Shah Shapatai. Yashikar. Anyways. Where are we at? Corner Las Vegas. Okay, yeah, Syria. The pipeline. The point is, they use this guy to sit back here so that he would be the guy to allow the pipeline to flow through so they can ignore Russia. But now we're in World War III, so that ain't going to work. But let's get back on topic. We're just explaining how these alliances keep going and they keep bouncing and the Spirit keeps working through Jonathan to pick the right side, at least for now.
Yeah.
The Spirit's working through Jonathan to choose the right side and stay on top. So, with that being the case, let's keep going to 1 Maccabees.
1 Maccabees 11 and verse 58. Upon this, he sent him golden vessels to be served in.
Of course, they're just trading gold out. They're just trading gold vessels and bribes to make you feel good. Yeah. Read on.
And gave him leave to drink in gold and to be clothed.
I guess, listen, he says, Antiochus VI gave Jonathan leave to drink and gold. I guess you can't drink and gold unless you're authorized to drink and gold out. Yeah. You got to get clearance to drink and gold. That's amazing.
Well, because you're saying, if you do that gold cup, you're saying that you're on a level.
Okay.
Saying you're on our level.
Mm-hmm. So everybody can't drink and gold. Let's continue.
And to be clothed in purple.
Mm-hmm.
And to wear a golden buckle.
Kind. Let's keep going. So pretty much Antiochus is giving him status and clout.
Yeah.
Right? Read on.
Verse 59. His brother Simon also he made captain from the place called the Ladder of Tyrus unto the borders of Egypt.
So I had an image of this. What he's saying is that Simon, which was the brother of Jonathan, had pretty much control of Tyre and Zidon all the way to the borders of Egypt. I'm just trying to, I don't know if I have. Okay, if you look at the map, you see Tyre at the top, whereas you see Hasmonean Israel. You'll see Tyre to the left. So Simon was given jurisdiction from Tyre all the way down to the borders of Egypt, which takes you down to past Raphia to Rhino Kalura. So that region, from Rhino Kalura to Tyre, that region, Simon had jurisdiction over. Okay? Don't get caught up into the ladder of Tyrus. It's just talking about Tyre. And that region, all from the north to the south, in the cold Syria region, Simon had jurisdiction over. But Jonathan had jurisdiction over the entire region. Okay? So with that being the case, it was still for strategic purposes. Because with that strategic purpose, they can control the entire army in the region and use it to defeat Demetrius II. Let's keep going.
60. Then Jonathan went forth and passed through the cities beyond the water, and all the forces of Syria gathered themselves unto him for to help him.
So what they're saying is Jonathan goes down on this campaign to get all of these countries. Let's go back and put the picture on. All of these countries, whether it's Phoenicia, the region in Galilee, Samaria, Gaza, Philistia, even Idumea, all these regions, now he has to go down and recruit these armies into Antiochus' army. Antiochus VI. Read on.
Then Jonathan went forth and passed through the cities beyond the water, and all the forces of Syria gathered themselves unto him for to help him.
And Syria is east of the Jordan, so he gathered armies there as well. Read on.
And when he came to Ascalon.
So now, matter of fact, let's scratch the Syria because it was cold Syria. Syria is one thing. Cold Syria is the region he's talking about. He says when he went to Ascalon, Ascalon is where you see it's near Rapha. It's where you see Judea on the map. Look to the left. You'll see Azotus and Ascalon. These are old Philistine cities. Old Philistine cities from way back when. So Ascalon is still a major city at the time. Jonathan is going all the way down the coast, from Tyre down the coast, to recruit armies to fight for Antiochus. Read on.
They of the city met him honorably. From whence he went to Gaza.
Then he kept going down. You have Ascalon, Anthedon, Gaza. He goes from Ascalon to Gaza. And he's going to Gaza and said, hey, we need your support. We need your best men to help fight with us and get this battle on. Read on.
But they of Gaza shut him out. Wherefore he laid siege
So listen,
unto
the
it.
people of Gaza pretty much let Jonathan know, hey, we're not sure who we're going to side with. So just because you're here with your military recruiting our guys, we don't know if we want to side with Antiochus VI or we want to side with who? Demetrius II. So we're going to stand neutral. So when Gaza said they're going to stand neutral, they made the wrong choice. Because Jonathan immediately besieges them and puts them in a pickle, in a predicament where they're going to have to make a choice very soon and adapt and choose the Antiochus VI side. Read on.
From whence he went to Gaza, but they of Gaza shut him out. Wherefore he laid siege unto it, and burned the suburbs thereof with fire.
So once again, when you're dealing with any type of siege, you have the interior of the structure. The interior is what? The interior is the actual tower, the actual structure that you're trying to break down. But before you break down the interior, you break down the suburbs. So they're burning all this city, the outside, unprotected, unwalled cities, which are the suburbs, he's burning that down. Jonathan's destroying all the suburbs and putting pressure on the people from the inside. I mean, this is basic siege warfare. Read on.
Wherefore he laid siege unto it, and burned the suburbs thereof with fire, and spoiled them.
So they sat back here and broke down this region, the unwalled cities, and spoiled the treasure from doing it. Read on.
Afterward, when they of Gaza made supplication unto Jonathan, he made peace with them.
But the crazy thing is, why did you have to sit back and put all these people and make them homeless? You could have sat back here and avoided all this and just capitulated. Why sit back here and start a war and then stop in the middle after many people lose their homes? That's just foolish operation. That's foolish leadership. And this is why even right now in the Iran-U.S. war, why sit back and stop now? You bombed all. Listen, the United States and Israel has bombed a lot of their infrastructure. You might as well go all the way in now. Because, U.S. is threatening to sit back here and bomb them to the Stone Age. You already destroyed the country. You might as well break these guys down too and destroy them. Versus playing this game like we're going to sit back and wave the white flag now. It's too late. We're too deep in the game. You already blown up a lot of our areas. We're going to keep putting pressure. Now it's about, this is how you know this is real world war, because they're going to keep, both sides are continuously applying pressure. I saw last night, I don't know if y'all saw, one of the United States pilots got captured.
Yeah.
He's sitting back here, bro, in this weird Iranian damn fortress or this weird Iranian jail cell out. He's sitting back here like, yeah, this is our battalion that came out of Central Saudi Arabia. And listen, it don't look good. All those fancy planes with radars, brothers want to talk about, how about they're getting shot down?
Yeah, that's old technology.
Well, it's not old technology. I was listening online. It said all this fancy technology that radar systems can't pick up. You know what systems can pick it up? They can heat sensors can pick it up. So all Iran did is, we can't read it on the radar, but it takes the jet propelling engines create so much energy. You can just sit back here and look in the sky and just look for energy at a certain level, and you'll find them. And they said when they shot this major $1 million plane down, the $1 million plane has a mechanism that it has a 360 panoramic view of any bomb that shoots their direction. So they knew the bomb was coming, and they made this G maneuver, which is what you do to avoid the bomb. And then they shot out these light flares. And the light flares that this fancy plane shoots out is supposed to make the energy sensors follow that. But what it does is these bombs were created to get close enough to the plane to where it automatically detonates at a certain connection. So you don't have to hit. You don't have to hit you. I just gotta get close enough, and then when you shoot your little whatever you gotta do, it's gonna blow up right there anyway. So then they knocked it down. They've lost like millions of dollars of equipment in a day or two since they've been getting close to attacking Iran. Yeah, the bombing is working. They're bombing the hell out of it, but they're losing millions of dollars in return. Then they said they're bombing the hell out of these Saudi Air Force bases. You know why? Because all this expensive equipment at the Air Force bases, they have nowhere to hide it. So they're just in plain sight. So they're bombing $500,000 planes, $1.5 million planes that are sitting here parked. Because where are they going to put it? Where are you going to hide them? There's no underground parking lot to put $1 million equipment. So all Iran is doing is blowing up $1 million here, $1 million here, 800,000 here, $500,000 here. You know how much money is being burnt already? On top of the bombing of the military base in general? This isn't looking good. All right. Yes, sis?
So now that of course, lots of people have already died.
Yep.
Now
Well, not What's that?
Well, so now they're capturing people
Mm-hmm.
that are alive.
Mm-hmm.
So now the retaliation is already in effect. So what are they going to do now when it comes to people that are actually getting captured and held over there?
They're gonna do this and keep bombing them. They're not stopping. Listen, the thing. Listen, just because Iran put it on their closed circuit doesn't mean that the United States is admitting anything. U.S. is just saying, hey, we're bombing them back to the Stone Age. Everything's okay. We've already won. How can you already have won? And then you're losing planes and you're losing this and you're losing that. There's a lot of fog of war, and they're going to continue to keep it under wraps. Nobody's talking about how much damage Israel has been facing, all the bombing in Israel, and nobody's really talking about how much the military bases and how much equipment is being blown up. They're not talking about it yet. This is underground media that's showing this, not regular. You ain't gonna hear this on CNN and NBC News and Fox News. You're not gonna get it.
They're trying to get the people to buy into the war and accept it.
It's not happening.
So he saw we're losing all this money and it's not going as well. People aren't going to support it.
Good. So that's what's happening so far. So back to the topic. Jonathan had to siege Gaza before they realized, oh man, our people are dying. Let's sit back here and give in. And all they had to do was say, yeah, we'll sit back here and send some of our guys to fight against Demetrius. And we went into that last week about people have to suffer before they learn lessons.
Oh, yeah.
That was where that came from. People don't realize, when you're sitting back here being in your head, what you have to lose because you was in your head. What you have to suffer because you didn't want to fight your battle. But let's continue.
First Maccabees 11 and verse 62. Afterward, when they of Gaza made supplication unto Jonathan, he made peace with them, and took the sons of their chief men for hostages, and sent them to Jerusalem, and passed through the country unto Damascus.
Why did he sit back here? Because this is a theme at the time. Why did Jonathan take the sons of the chief men for hostages? This has been happening for a period of time. Why have they done it?
To have the, I guess.
One word. It's leverage.
Yeah.
They already didn't want to follow. They didn't want to capitulate. That's why they had to besiege the whole place. So how do I guarantee you're going to play ball?
Got your kids.
I got your sons. I got your heirs to the kingdom. So because we got your heirs to the kingdom, 10 times out of 10, you're going to sit back and capitulate and send us supplies, send us manpower, send us soldiers. And that's what he did.
To make deals.
Capitulate, yield, serve, cooperate, play ball. It's the same thing. Okay? So, let's continue. So, Gaza is locked in. The whole west coast of Syria is locked in. From all the way from Tyre and Zidon, all the way from Tyre, Phoenicia, all the way down close to Egypt. The whole region's ready to go now. Okay, continue.
Verse 63. Now when Jonathan heard that Demetrius' princes were come to Cades, which is in Galilee, with a great power, proposing to remove him out of the country.
So he says, now when Jonathan heard that Demetrius II, his princes, came down to Cades, which is in Galilee. You sit back here and see Galilee. It's up north. It's right above Samaria. So, once again, Jonathan did what was right. He gathered his army on time. He gathers the army. At the same time, he gathers his army. He looks up, and Demetrius' men are ready to fight at Cades in Galilee. Okay, let's continue.
Verse 64. He went to meet them and left Simon, his brother, in the country. Then Simon encamped against Bethsura and fought against it a long season and shut it up.
Wait, read that part again. Where are we at? What verse again?
65.
Okay, read that.
Verse 64. He went to meet them and left Simon, his brother, in the country.
Because he needed backup. He didn't want to send all his forces at one time. Read on.
Then Simon encamped against Bethsura and fought against it a long season.
Now listen, what he's saying is, I know I have a map of Bethsura. One second. There it goes. Listen, if you look at this map, at the same time that Jonathan and his men are fighting in Galilee, Simon and his men are fighting at Bethsura. Bethsura is in Idumea, right next to Hebron. Bethsura is a large stronghold that had been financed and backed by the Greeks for many years since the time that Judas was in power. Bethsura was that place in the south that was a stronghold to keep Judah in check, to keep Israel in check. So what's happening is that stronghold was never broken, and it was still defended by Idumea. And unfortunately, Hebron was where David was from. Esau had already earned and fought and took that spot when we fell in 586 BC. So that's a stronghold and a thorn in our side that we hadn't been able to deal with. So what is Jonathan doing? He's sitting back here and protecting his flank. As he's fighting the Greeks in the north, obviously Idumea are enemies to Jonathan and his men, and he has to protect his flank so that he can deal with Demetrius II, and whatever happens south of him, his brother can take care of it. Cry, what's your question?
I was going to ask, I know we're in Idumea. Is that basically like a borough in Idumea?
A borough like New York got? New York?
They got King and Queens.
Oh my God, there's no bodegas in Bethsura. Bethsura is a stronghold city. All it is it's like Jerusalem. All right? And what I mean by being Jerusalem, it's one of those encircled, fortified cities. That's why Bethsura is like highlighted. Many battles were fought in this region. But it's like a fort city. Just like Jerusalem's a fort city, there's certain cities that are more surrounded and more protected. And this is why it wasn't easy for Israel to take this city. No different than why it was so hard for all these Israelites to take out Akron, that tower. Because it was a fortified tower that was very difficult to control. So Simon is controlling in the south, bringing his soldiers in the south. Then you have Jonathan and his men are fighting Demetrius II in the north at Galilee. Let's continue. What verse are we at?
We're in verse 66.
Don't forget, whenever we have longer stretches of talking, bring it back to the verse so we don't get lost. Read on. Especially me.
Verse 65. Then Simon encamped against Bethsura and fought against it a long season and shut it up.
He didn't defeat it. He just controlled anything from going inside. So rations were low, supplies were low. He weakened the stronghold. Read on.
But they
couldn't go out to help Demetrius II in war. Read on.
But they desired to have peace with him, which he granted them, and then put them out from thence, and took the city, and set a garrison in it.
So Simon at this time overcame in Bethsura and set a garrison inside that region for the time. Read on.
As for Jonathan and his host, they pitched at the water of Gennesaret.
Okay.
From whence betimes in the morning they got them to the plain of Nasor.
Okay.
And behold, the host of strangers met them in the plain, who, having laid men in ambush for him in
Matter
the
of fact. Let's stop at read verse 66 again, and we're going to stop. And then read it, Josephus.
Verse 66. But they desired to have peace with him, which he granted them, and then put them out from thence, and took the city, and set a garrison in it.
Okay, so let that go, or hold it for now, and go to Josephus, chapter 13. Paragraph 13, Salakia. Paragraph 13, book 13, book 13, chapter 5, paragraph 6.
All right. Page 345. Antiquity of the Jews, book 13, chapter 5, paragraph 6. But when he heard that the generals of Demetrius' forces were come to the city, Kadesh, with a numerous army, the place lies between the land of the Tyranians and Galilee, for they supposed that they should hereby draw him out of Syria in order to preserve Galilee, and that he would not overlook the Galileans, who were his own people. When war was made upon them, he went to meet them, having left Simon in Judea, who raised as great an army.
Read verse 6. Read paragraph 6 again from the top.
But when he heard that the generals of Demetrius' forces were come to the city Kadesh with a numerous army, the place lies between the land of the Tyranians and Galilee.
Galilee is where there was a large population of Israelites still. Tyre wasn't. Read on.
For they supposed they should hereby draw him out of Syria in order to preserve Galilee, and that he would not overlook the Galileans, who were his own people. When war was made upon them,
so what it's saying is, if we sit back here and get close enough to Galilee, we're going to draw him out to fight. Because he's not going to fight. He's not going to fight us in Tyre. But he's going to fight us and pull him out if it's close enough to us harming his city of Galilee. The purpose of what Demetrius is trying to do is pull him out to a fight to eventually expose him and take him out. Because they feel they have greater numbers, and if they take out Jonathan in this area, they can still control the cold Syria region. Even though they lost Antioch, they can keep cold Syria. Read on.
Having left Simon in Judea, who raised as great an army as he was able out of the country, and then sat down before Bethsura and besieged it, that being the strongest place in all Judea, and a garrison of Demetrius kept it, as we have already related. But as Simon was raising banks and bringing his engines of war against Bethsura, and was very earnest about the siege of it, the garrison was afraid lest the place should be taken of Simon by force. And they put to the sword. So they sent to Simon and desired the security of his oath, that they should come to no harm from him, and that they would leave the place and go away to Demetrius.
Okay, read on. So what they're saying is, when Simon surrounded them, they didn't want to get killed. Because then once again, once you are in a besieging situation and you last long enough and you're at their circle for many, many months, you're going to go kill the people that are inside. So they're like, instead of sitting back here getting killed, we'll wave the white flag and we'll just leave. So you just as long as you don't kill us. Read on.
Accordingly, he gave them his oath, and he ejected them out of the city, and he put therein a garrison of his own.
So pretty much the people that were running the region, he allowed them to leave and meet up with Demetrius' men, and he took over the stronghold. He at least was listen, we were a man of our word. The rest of the nations were. So, continue. Matter of fact, that was paragraph 6. Now let's go back to the verses, verse 67 through 74.
First Maccabees chapter 11 and verse 64.
No, 67.
Oh, 67. Sorry. As for Jonathan and his host, they pitched at the water of Gennesaret, from whence betimes in the morning they got them to the plain of Nasor. And behold, the host of strangers met them in the plain, who, having laid men in ambush for him in the mountains, came themselves over against him.
Mm-hmm.
So when they that lay in ambush rose out of their places and joined battle, all that were of Jonathan's side fled.
So once again, what's happening is Demetrius II's men had laid an ambush for Jonathan's men. But when the ambush, I guess, was brought to fruition, Jonathan's men ran off. The question is this: why did they run off? Do you normally read about Jonathan's men running off
No.
in war? Why is this different? Because Jonathan had a what? Had a nation full of had an army full of nations.
Wow.
Don't forget, Antiochus VI said, "Bring some soldiers down from the region to help you fight." There's a lesson here. When you're fighting any battle, you want to go to war with people who don't have the same vested interest in what you're fighting than what you do?
They're not losing like you're losing.
Well, listen, they're not going to take the loss like you're going to take the loss. This is why it's really important in whatever battle you are endeavoring to fight. Make sure you choose to endeavor to fight with people that have the same thing that they're going to lose as you.
So you're saying that if they don't accomplish the objective,
These mercenaries don't give a damn.
They're going to be affected if they don't accomplish the goal. But if I don't accomplish the goal, I don't get affected, then why risk myself?
Or I can sit back and run. Whether it's all these guys from Tyre all the way down to Philistia. Why do I have to do this? Whereas Jonathan, they're still fighting for their nation's livelihood.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, if they get ambushed, they're going to flipping, cower down and bounce. Salaki online, excuse me for the passion of my words. That was really a mistake. But skin for skin, the nations aren't going to fight for the survival of the nation of Israel like your own people are going to. And then even in that, not everybody in your nation is going to fight for the same things you're fighting for. This is why you have to carefully choose who you're going to war with in general, even amongst your own people. So this is what's happening. A lot of these non-Israelites are afraid. They're running off. All the formations. Listen, war is about trust. War is about, hey, regardless of what happens, you have to do your job. Hold your positions. Hold your scenarios down. And another person has to do his job. When trust is broken, everything falls apart. And this is what's happening here. So continue. So Jonathan's men that he's responsible for start bouncing once they are ambushed. Read on.
Verse 70. Insomuch as there was not one of them left, except Mattathias, the son of Absalom, and Judas, the son of the captains of the host. Then Jonathan rent his clothes and cast earth upon his head and prayed.
So Jonathan is stressing out about what he's going to do next. They're surrounded. This could be it. And only a couple captains of the host stayed to fight. Read on. Matter of fact, what verse is that?
That was verse 71.
Okay, continue.
Verse 72. Afterwards, turning again to battle, he put them to fight, and so they ran away. Now when his own men that were fled saw this.
So listen, verse 72 is saying, after Jonathan sat back here and sent his prayers up to the Most High, what did he do?
30.
No, read verse 71 and 72 again. This is important also. Because it's showing you, we're reading about physical war. But you can take this when you're fighting any battle. Read on.
Verse 71.
When I mean any battle in your head, any battle emotionally, any battle that you got going on in your life. Read verse 71 again.
Verse Verse 71. Then Jonathan rent his clothes and cast earth upon his head and prayed. Afterwards, turning again to battle, he put them to flight.
Jonathan sat back here with the small amount of people he had. After he prayed, what do you think he's praying for? Protection? For the Most High to look after him? To be merciful about his condition?
Yeah.
Whatever he prayed for, what did he do behind it? There was action behind his prayers. And there had to be vigorous fighting behind his prayers. Why is that so important? Because what do people do? Read verse 71 again.
71. Then Jonathan rent his clothes and cast earth upon his head.
Listen, when a person rents his clothes, tears his clothes up, and puts earth on his head, earth and ashes, what does that mean? What does that symbolize? Yeah, it does symbolize humility. What also was it showing? No, he's scared. You don't think there was a real vulnerability there? I lost half of my men or more. The numbers aren't fair. They're not realistic. There's a good chance I could die.
And
There's a good chance we could all die.
It looks very closely to a Judas Maccabee scenario.
Well, yes, but
What
does that mean? What does that mean?
His last battle,
Okay.
his men ran.
Kind.
And he had to go to battle by himself.
Kind. But once again, yes. But what did he do? He's showing he went down to the Most High, prayed, right? But let's be honest. You don't think fear was there?
Okay.
You don't think fear of the unknown wasn't there? You don't think a spirit of fear wasn't in him? Of course it was. But the difference between Jonathan and us is that once he sat back here and prayed to the Most High, did what he had to do to acknowledge the Father, what did that prayer or that show of humility do to him? Whatever was on him, whatever fear was on him, it wasn't there anymore. Or, to be specific, it might have been there. It was probably still there. But whatever he sat down and prayed to the Most High to do, gave him enough strength to operate past what he felt.
Yeah.
That is so important. Why is that important? Hold this and go to Wisdom of Solomon 17 and verse 11.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17 and verse 11.
Because this is what a lot of our people don't understand. Read that. Wisdom of Solomon 17 and 11.
For wickedness, condemned by her own witness, is very timorous.
He says, when you're wicked, you're afraid. A wicked person does nothing about their situation. Didn't the scripture say in Proverbs that fear is a snare?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fear gets in the way of action. Fear gets in the way of doing something about it. So whatever Jonathan was feeling, he prayed on it, acknowledged the Most High, and didn't let his fear stop action. When we're in our head, when we're overthinking things, all the overthinking that we play with, all the thoughts, all the timorous thoughts, all it does is that it keeps us from action. And when you don't provide action along with faith, then you're not doing anything. What good would Jonathan have done if he would have sat down, prayed, put the ashes on his head, and then did nothing about it? He would have been dead. And then he would have been like, I pray to the Most High. How can the Most High didn't take away these spirits? Because we have that religious nature in us. That because you pray to the Most High, all of a sudden the boogeyman leaves. Don't we think that? I pray to the Lord. How come these thoughts keep haunting me?
Still there.
The thoughts keep coming at me. What's wrong? I prayed. Why do I still have lust in my mind? Why do I still have doubt? Why do I still want to quit? Maybe I'm not meant to be in the truth. You might be heard these crazy statements like that. Have you heard it before? Maybe I'm not meant to be here. What? Just because Diablo's on your shoulder?
Yeah.
You're not meant to be here.
Doing his job.
You said leave.
I'm not meant to be here. I should leave.
You're not worth it.
I'm not worth it.
Listen, leave tonight.
I should leave tonight.
Under cover of darkness. Nobody needs to know. They'll know tomorrow.
But whatever he says, no one's going to know.
God.
Yeah, you just follow
whatever impulsive, and then you keep building on the thought versus fighting the thought and making a conscience. I'm going to go against this. Because whatever Jonathan did, he prayed, and then he sat back here and went directly at whatever fear he had until that whatever represented fear to him, they left. Didn't they? Listen, that army that was charging on Jonathan after they saw half of their men leave, he prayed and went right back and fought what he was afraid of, and eventually that negative left. That military presence left. Can't we extract something from that spiritually? When something is breaking us and tearing us down with fear, you have to go right at that fear until that fear is no longer there. Because what does fear do? Continue in Wisdom of Solomon 17 and 11.
Wisdom of Solomon 17 and 11. For wickedness, condemned by her own witness, is very timorous.
He says wickedness is fearful. Read on.
And being pressed with conscience.
Listen, it says fear is pressed with conscience. What does that mean? A fearful mind is constantly thinking and meditating on fear. A fearful mind is constantly meditating on all the different ways things will go bad. That's how you know you got the devil on you. People don't look at wickedness like, people look at a wicked person like a person that parties on a Sabbath. That's a wicked person. Person that smokes drugs, he's wicked. She's wicked. A person who breaks the Torah, doesn't follow the Torah, the commandments, they're wicked. But they don't call themselves wicked when they're afraid. When they constantly meditate on how things are going to go bad in their life. And they use a bunch of bad things that happen in their life to justify why it's going to be bad in the future. People don't want to call that aspect of them wicked, but it is. A wicked person forecasts evil in their future. They're always focused on what bad can happen. And whatever bad is going to happen will happen. And when you think that way, you're literally evil. Now, how many of us sit back here and think of it? Don't raise your hand. Don't raise your hand. But it's a real thing. And why am I bringing it out? Because you have to realize those thoughts are evil and you can't feed it at all. You can't play with that thought at all. If your mind starts forecasting something's going to be bad, how can you prove that? That's just the spirit. Why are you going to keep the... And listen, whenever you... Well, this happened and that happened and this happened in the past. Well, maybe you were wicked in the past. How about that? Maybe you weren't living the right way in the past. Maybe the people around you weren't living that way in the past. Why is that the measurement of what's going to happen in the future? And when you do that, and when you feed that, what is the result? You're still more destructive moving forward. That's how you know it's wicked. Because when you forecast doom and gloom in your life, what are your works behind that evil forecast? Your works are destructive. Your works are cancerous. You sit back here without hope. Nothing good comes out of your conduct, your communication, how you deal. That's how you know it was evil in the first place. Does that make sense? Yes.
It's like that one man that had that one talent, and Christ had made him leave.
Yeah, he said I was afraid.
Yeah.
But you know what he was saying? That was wicked.
Yeah. I got one more scripture for that. Ecclesiasticus 2:13. It shows you directly how the Lord looks at it.
Yeah.
Ecclesiastes chapter 2 and verse 13. Woe unto him that is faint-hearted.
That's the sentiment right there. Woe means destruction. Faint-hearted means a person's entertaining and playing with a bunch of scary thinking.
Hold that verse, because I want to finish this statement. Go back to verse 11 and read the last line. Because it says that the wicked person is afraid and is pressed with conscience. His thoughts keep plaguing him or her. Their conscience. But what is their conscience being pressed with? Read on.
For wickedness condemned by her own witness is very timorous, and being pressed with conscience always forecasteth grievous things.
Always forecast something is going to be bad, or something's going to be hard, or something's going to be difficult, or I'm not going to be able to handle what's happening, what's waiting for me in the future. He says a person that's faint-hearted is constantly forecasting how something is going to be too hard, too difficult, unaccomplishable, which is not a word.
Can't be accomplished though.
Well, it can't be accomplished. Or I'm not able to handle this. That quitting spirit is a faint-hearted spirit, and it is wicked. Yes. No, because everybody in this room thinks that way. How about that? In their own way. So they're just wicked. And people don't look at that wickedness like the wickedness of a person who talks negative, or the wickedness of a person who keeps it real too much, or the wickedness of a person who sits back here and eats abominable foods. Wicked is what? Wicked is wicked. We just don't look at wicked. That isn't that bad. Or that person, you know, when you look at them, oh, that person is just insecure. Oh, it's okay. You're just a little insecure, little boy from Georgia.
Yeah.
And it goes back to that. It's a little insecure person who's got to fight their battle. You know, just cheer up. Cheer up. No, that's evil. Just like the person that commits adultery. And if you don't look at it that way, how will you ever gain leverage over it? How will you ever hate it enough to not feed it? That's the point. And we're going into the depth of it, because if you don't sit back here and look at your fears and your doubts and your forecasting, listen, Israel's a bunch of wicked prognosticators.
Yep.
Oh, it's going to be bad in these coming months. I done got a bad forecast. I got a bad omen. You know, Jake's the king of omens. I saw a black cat. There's going to be some bad times coming to me.
Yeah.
I saw a dead bird. You better watch out. There's evil coming.
Those things are real. Those things are real. You see that sign right there? There you go. There you go. That's it.
Well, how about you serve the Most High? It's going to be okay.
That's a sign to give more than the Most High. The bird trying to warn you. I'm dead.
The dead bird is like this.
I'm dead. I'm trying to warn you.
Listen, I get you. But what am I saying? The negative that we play with, we partially play with it because deep down, we really don't think it's that bad of a thing. How many years we talk, oh yeah, you just got insecurities. We just got to work through the insecurities. Have you heard that before? When it comes to fear and doubt? How many times have you been taught that fear and evil prognostication is wickedness? How many times have you been told that? Well, maybe you understand why it's still in you, and you haven't fought it enough to defeat it. And he's telling you, wicked, just because, that's my phone, just because we have experienced the curses, because why have we suffered in the past so much?
The curses.
The curses. So all of a sudden, my thinking is predicated on the curses. Why do we have to go through the curses?
Because we were wicked.
Because we were wicked. So why do I have to forecast evil in my future? Because I lived the curses and wasn't following the laws of the Most High, or the people I surrounded myself with didn't follow the laws of the Most High. So why does that automatically mean that my life is cursed? We have to start practicing detaching how we sat back here and suffered in the world because of our own wickedness and the people we've associated their wickedness, and understand that if I sit back here and live the right way, I should have confidence moving forward. The Most High will protect me. That's how you defeat that spirit. Who gives a damn that you have 10 to 15 reasons why something is going to go bad in the future?
Or it may not work.
But that's how we think. In our mind, I got 10 to 20 reasons why it's not going to work. And that's a wicked type of thinking.
That's why I got to pull a scripture right here.
I'm sorry, I just want to tie in that faint-hearted with that point.
No,
But keep going.
perfect.
Read it from top again.
Ecclesiastes 2 and 13.
Keep going, correct.
Ecclesiastes 2 and verse 13. Woe unto him that is faint-hearted.
Woe unto him that is faint-hearted. Destruction is associated with fearful people. People that have fearful, doubtful, scary mindsets. Most I said, you are going to have fear. Because you want to be afraid, you're going to attract destruction.
Can I pull a verse? He pulled the verse, but it goes with that. It goes right with it.
Do what you got to do.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, man. Listen, you said the fear and the faint-hearted brings about destruction, right?
Because we had a topic, I think, last Wednesday, that went this concept. It went to the concept of you are the author of your own fate.
Yes, hell yeah.
And what you do, the spirit you choose, because you chose this spirit, you also chose this outcome.
Yep. Now listen, with that, read that verse, Karai, Isaiah 24. I don't know if that was in your class. Isaiah 24 and 17. Because it fits right in what you said. I'm gonna have to go right back to it after this verse.
Isaiah chapter 24 and verse 17.
I pulled this many years ago, but I don't know if that was in your class.
I doubt it would.
Read on. I didn't know.
Isaiah 24 and verse 17. Fear and the pit and the snare are upon thee, O inhabitant of the earth.
He said fear and the pit and the snare. Listen, the more you feed fear, you're digging yourself a hole that you can't get out of. Listen, when you're in a pit, have you ever seen Apocalypto?
Yeah.
I actually watched that.
Remember that damn pit?
Yeah.
That Jaguar, was it Jaguar? Not the Judas is a Jaguar.
He did it. Danny was there. I saw everybody.
I saw Common too. Common was this kind of guy. He was a dirty guy. Not Jaguar, right? Not Jaguar, right? Jaguars in the movie.
She was in the movie too.
No, she wasn't.
She was the fucking.
No, she wasn't.
I'm telling you, everybody was doing that too.
It was all evil. I saw it. I got recorded. Let me stop. But listen.
They didn't want me to sing.
But that pit was very difficult to get out. Especially when it was raining. It was damn near impossible. But this is what the spirit of fear brings you. It's a spirit, it's a situation where it is unescapable.
You can't fix this problem.
You can't fix, there is no solution to a person who thinks and always does what? Always broadcasts.
Procrastinates.
Or it says forecast grievous things. You'll never get out of it.
Yeah.
All you'll do is try to bring people down into your pit. And what you do is you force people to go down and suffer with you or leave you. Because who's going to want to live in a pit with you in your forecasting of evil? Who wants to live a life like that if we're all trying to live like Christ? That's the issue. Misery loves what? A person who forecasts evil things wants somebody to be suffocated and by that same fear. You can't live that way, and you can't please the Most High that way, and you'll never see the Most High loves you that way. And this goes to your point, where you're the author of your own situation. Because if you want to forecast grievous things and you keep thinking that way,
there you go.
Guess what? You will literally live in this grievous pit. Because you chose the pit. Because the only thing waiting for you, if you fuel grievous thoughts, is a pit.
And it's not magic. Because I'm going to explain it a little extra little.
Because mine ain't deep and mine
No.
My information ain't clear enough.
No. I'm not saying that. As I said, extra little pixel. I'm adding an extra pixel to it. All right?
So what you're saying is I'm giving like Pac-Man images out.
No.
You want to give 1080.
No, I'm not saying that.
You'll get Ultra 4K.
No, I'm not even saying that.
Like you go to those TV stores out, and they have these phenomenal looking iguanas out. You see every color of the iguana.
That's awesome. That is awesome. I look at that TV. Yeah. How much is it? $8,000.
No, sir. I wait 5 years. It'd be like $100. Yeah. Anyway, keep going.
No, but all I'm saying is that I guess to go with the statement and add a little bit with the direction.
I know.
Is to be, I guess, whatever.
Clearer, whatever. Just add on top of it, whatever. I'm just joking with you.
No, I'm just trying to say it properly. You're saying that people say there's fear, and so because you have fear, because you were adding on my statement about attracting more fear, creating a situation of fear,
and then you can never get out of it. But I just want to bring about everything you said about the faint hunters. Yeah. But you create a pit.
But I want to add this, because people think it's magical thinking. They're going to say, some people are going to say, well, you attract these things, you spoke into existence, you chose this thought, and this thought came to pass. This is you created self-fulfilling prophecy. Well, let's just say why you created self-fulfilling prophecy. You create a self-fulfilling prophecy because the Most High gives you two sets of things. This is what you can do to fix it, or you can just capitulate. Mm-hmm. Israel chose capitulation, which is the spirit of quitting, which is a plague in Israel. And because you're afraid, when someone tells you what you need to do to fix the problem, you say, it's not going to work. And I don't take action because what's the point? There's no point in taking action on the counsel to solve the problem because every time this problem comes in my life, I already know it's going to end up this way. I already know it's going to collapse. I already know it's going to fail. So why try? Why do anything that counterbalances this issue? Well, because you're afraid, your fear demotivates your calls to action. Mm-hmm. Who can be motivated when they have a grievous fear in front of them and they believe in the fear more than they believe in the Most High? That's what Israel does. Israel believes the fear or the picture in their head more than they believe the counsel and the scripture.
And they fear that because they lived under the curses mm-hmm. and experienced letdowns mm-hmm. under the curses. Mm-hmm. And they believe that the trauma of the curses will always follow them for the rest of their life. Yeah. And that's where the evil comes from. Most High is like, listen, you experience trauma like every other Israelite has in their own way. So you think that less of me? To think that now that you're getting closer to Most High, I'm going to sit back here and put you through the same level of suffering that I put you in when you didn't know me?
Absolutely. Yeah.
That makes no sense. And that's a slap in the Most High's face. God. Because people who are operating in fear, who can forecast grievous things, they forecast grievous things because they've suffered grievous things. Yeah. But they don't want to sit back here and realize that in Christ, you are a new what?
Creature.
So if you're a new creature, then why don't you give the Most High a clean slate? Why don't you give serving the Most High a fair shake?
You want to clean.
Why do you sit back here and look at the Most High from the lens of the trauma that you and the people around you suffer? It's no different than sisters who come in the truth from the world and they look at their man like they dealt with men in the world.
Yep.
It's the same thing. When you deal with a man in the world, there's a different set of rules you live by. But you sit back here and take those ill sets of rules that you dealt with a man in the world and you bring them into this realm and you sit back here and you forecast evil and grievous thoughts because of what you experience with men in the world, and you don't, because they look familiar, but they're different rules you're playing by.
Yeah.
And so because of that, you're still not looking at this new experience in a spiritual way of looking at things, because you have trauma when you were Jake and the people that you hung out with was Jake. You can't separate the two. And because you can't separate the two, you bring that fear from the loss and experience in here to a new realm. This is what we do in our lives too. Because I got let down by mentors in the world. Now I can't sit back and trust again. What's the difference?
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing. And because I want to sit back here, it boils down to I suffered trauma in the world when in the world people weren't playing by the rules of the Spirit and serve the Most High. And I wasn't either. And I suffered. And I take that trauma and I forecast evil in the future because of the trauma I experienced in the world. And then I think the Most High, I think it's going to be the same because I suffered worldly trauma and never realized to give the Most High a chance in the future.
I did that before.
And why can't we sit back here and understand our worldly conduct and everything we suffered in the world was because of our negative and our curses? And can you give the Most High a clean slate?
Well, if you lie to
Because the Most High gives us a clean slate, doesn't He? Why can't we give Him a clean slate? And understand that those feelings and those responses are all predicated on losses that we had when we weren't spiritual thinking people.
we went with the will of the Father.
We didn't do what was pleasing to the Father, so hell yeah, these things are going to happen.
There is a consequence for not being in your zone of protection. What do you expect?
And then when we sit back here and not give the Most High a clean slate, this is what angers the Most High. And if you want to stay in this loop of sadness and evil forecasting, then stay in that pit.
But
And then everybody that you care about will move on and live their life and grow, and you'll be in the pit. I can't count on my how many Israelites keep focusing on how they got hurt in the 90s.
yeah, they're in Vietnam. They're still in Vietnam.
How they got hurt in the 90s. How this brother was this. How Ariella did this. How this general did this. How this elder did this. And they can never grow up. This is why I left the Israelites. And you're in that. This is why we let the Israelites pit them. And you'll never grow. And you wonder why the Lord ain't with you no more. Or why you can't touch people the way you're supposed to touch. For all the information you got, all the learning you got, you can't help nobody because you're stuck in the 90s. Just like men get stuck in the 90s of what they went through, women are the same way. Because what I went through from this man, these men's, my family, my father, my mother, all of a sudden, all the forecast from there on out is doom and gloom. And you wonder why the Spirit ain't with you. Because with that spirit of fear, you can follow all the laws you want. It ain't going to fix your outlook. It ain't going to fix your life. And you're not going to grow. You'll still be in a pit knowing the law. And then you're wondering, then what happened is this. Then when I forecast the thought that people are going to leave me, it actually happens.
Of course.
But they leave you not because they don't care, but they leave you because you don't grow and you stay in the pit. And don't forget, whether we're men or we're sisters or we're married, we all have an obligation to keep growing together.
Forward.
Growing forward. But when one party doesn't want to grow, it puts a significant strain on the household. Right or wrong. Whether it's a man that doesn't want to change or a woman that doesn't want to change.
Same guy. It's the same thing, bro.
Then all of a sudden the expectation is you're supposed to wallow in anger and bitterness in this pit with me.
And you don't love me.
How come you don't? And you don't love me if you don't stay in this pit.
You don't love me if you don't take on this North Korean mindset. This is a North Korean mindset. Got everybody scared. You see his face.
Yeah, you ever seen the panoramic view of North and South Korea? South Korea has all these lights on at nighttime. It's a vibrant city out. In North Korea, they have like barely any lights on. Everybody's in the bed, sleep, unhappy. There's nothing to do.
They have something called the intranet. It's their own created internet that you can't get outside the internet.
Yeah.
So it's the intranet. It's their own little web.
So they break propaganda. They don't let propaganda get
there's no way for any outside information to get in the the culture,
the algo,
or the algorithm of the people. So they're just like still watching like Ninja Turtles. Still watching it. Go Ninja, go! Still watching Ninja Turtles out. They're still out there like he clips the cat. It's funny.
Yeah.
Heathcliff. Man, did you
with that cat? As soon as you eat the fish, the cat bones are perfectly out of the trash can.
Man, did you see that Power Rangers episode they just dropped? They beat all the monsters that came from the moon.
Yeah.
They're still there, huh? They're still listening to Britney Spears. Bah, bah, bah.
No, they're not listening to Britney Spears. They're not listening to that.
I'm just saying, they're dated, bro.
Yeah, I get you.
Like how Cuba is dated. We can go to Cuba. Cuba has, they're still driving in the 50s.
They're driving 50s cars. They do.
They're still driving the 50s. It looks clean. I like it. But everything, they make those cars stretch. But everything still the 50s, society didn't go on. Society didn't move on. That's what you are. You're North Korea and Cuba mentally because everybody's moving on. Everybody's moving forward. Everybody's taking off the chains of darkness and trying to get past the weaknesses and trying to break the fallow ground and trying to see themselves in the mirror and try to actually address themselves and deal with inventory and try to move forward. But you're in a marriage to a trauma bond. So now it's like this person's trying to get out of slavery.
You gotta slow that down. You're in a marriage to a trauma bond.
You're not in a marriage with the person.
No,
I'm not married to the person. I'm married to your trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And then your man has a little thing on his leg, and he started crawling slavery out. He's like, "We're gonna be free. We're gonna be free." And you're like, in Juneteenth, it's still 1864. We ain't free yet. We's not free from our trauma. We's never gonna get out of this. The point I'm trying to get to is, if you don't release yourself from the trauma, you're dragging the people around you down with you. Mm-hmm. And it happens for men too. The sister's trying to grow and seek purity in Christ and love God, and the man's just like, oh, you know what? I remember that I did the Israelite thing before. Yeah. I know a couple scriptures too. You gotta hear that. You gotta hear that. I don't do this. You gotta pick this, not pick that. You gotta use wisdom. All those spirits, they can never bond and truly give themselves and embrace the future.
And that's what the scriptures means. That's what it means about being a new man in Christ, a new person in Christ. If you're a new person in Christ, then everything that was old that would bring the fears and the trauma, you got to let that go.
Yeah.
Can you let go of the old way and the old fears that happen when you do things the old way? Because when you do things the old way, you get old results. Yeah. And those old results is what you're afraid of, but you're supposed to do things a new way, so you'll get new results. But we'll sit back. We're so afraid of the old happening again. We never embrace doing things the new way and trusting in that when I do things the new way for the Lord, I don't have to stress about this old result following me into this new life.
That's why I want to finish this point of scripture.
Yes.
Ecclesiastes 2:13. We're going to read the top, and then I'm going to focus on the second part.
Ecclesiastes chapter 2 and verse 13. Woe unto him that is faint-hearted,
or is living in their trauma. Read.
For he believeth not.
You believe in the trauma, because the trauma was real, more than you believe in the scriptures, but the scriptures too are real.
Because the scriptures, listen, gotta say this. If you were in the world, right, and you suffered trauma, And that trauma had an effect on it. Each and every one of us has to decide that when I choose to serve the Most High and work what's inside of me, that trauma that I experienced in the world won't repeat itself. But then there's another side to this. A lot of times, we're in the work and we experience trauma too. And then when we're in the work and we experience trauma, we make it difficult for us to move forward and try to grow. But we don't realize that when we're in the truth and we express trauma, it's because we weren't applying the scriptures the right way. And we didn't learn our lesson. There is a lesson in the trauma that you experience in the truth. And if you haven't learned the lesson the Spirit was trying to teach you, then you know what? You have to work on that. But when you work on it, a lot of times we experience trauma behind that. And then we're afraid we're in the work. Because certain people can conceptualize, yeah, I can understand in the world I got trauma. And I have to not expect a result that's going to be the same from the word of the truth. But some people do things, you know what, backwards in the truth, and then it results in trauma. And then they sit back here and they can no longer grow in the truth because they think that if I'm in the truth and I do things, quote unquote, a certain way, I'm going to face trauma in the truth. When in actuality, you only experience trauma because you did it wrong. Or you looked at it wrong. Or you processed it wrong.
The scripture says, wickedness proceedeth from the wicked.
Mm-hmm.
And wicked, we can use the word badness instead of being wicked. No,
it is because when you sit back here and forecast evil, you're wicked.
No, what I'm trying to say is people use that hot sauce bottle mindset.
I don't know what you mean by hot sauce bottle.
Hot sauce, the guy on the Frank bottle hot sauce
Diablo?
With the horns and he has a tail and he has a pitchfork. It's so unrealistic.
Why was he smiling like he was?
Because he just likes being a bad guy. He likes being bad.
Yeah.
So it creates this almost this fake idea of wickedness.
Okay.
Wickedness is the fear. Wickedness is the doubt. Wickedness is the quitting. Wickedness is the prognostications. Mm-hmm. Wickedness is the disobedience of going into battle because you said, why do it? Why try? There's no purpose. There's no point. And you stay. Or
I tried to do things the right way in the truth and it didn't work out.
Or I don't get the outcome necessary, but I don't do the work necessary. Because there's people that they want a certain result, but they don't give the effort to match the result.
Mm-hmm.
This is what effort it takes. This is the humility it takes. This is the patience it takes. This is the work ethic it takes. This is the communication it takes. I don't do any of those processes, but I expect God to give me a magic blessing. Mm-hmm. The point I want to get to was the second part, real quick.
That one had a question.
Yes, sir.
No, I didn't just say that. I was saying the truth and word that will cause trauma.
Well, our choices even in the work.
Right.
And the trauma, the bad results that come from our bad decisions in the work makes it harder for us to forecast that it can be better.
The Bible works if you apply it correctly. But wickedness proceeds from the wickedness. Wicked meaning that wicked means you do things the wrong way. If I do things the wrong way, then the outcome will not be the right outcome. If I do things the right way, the outcome will be the correct outcome.
And that's important to stress because we automatically decide that the trauma and the pain is going to happen to me regardless. And that's not true. You're not going to experience the trauma and the pain if you look at things the right way. If you perform things in the right way, then you're not going to experience the fear of what you think might happen. So fear is an illusion if you focus on doing things the right way, the way the Most High wants you to do it. So this is what people do. People live in that pit, they live in that fear, and fear becomes their snare. Or people just keep making the same mistake over and over again, and they never learn the lesson.
And you're making the same mistake because you're not growing.
But
you're not growing because you're giving your conscience to fear.
What I'm saying is this. This is how people operate. Either they operate in fear and they stay in that snare, in that pit, and they never get out of it. Or people keep trying to do things their own way, and they're bold. and they keep falling on their tail. I know a lot of people that keep doing the same thing over and over again, and they keep falling on their face. But they'll keep trying, their way.
Yeah. Which is not what the scripture says.
That's so you're either going to be in a snare in a pit,
Or deviate.
it's stuck in this snare of fear, or you're going to keep doing things and trying things and keep attempting and falling out of the way.
Like keep deviating.
But the solution still is in proper execution and doing things the right way. And trusting that in doing things the right way, the Most High will reward you. That was what I was trying to say. But keep going on your point.
Perfect. Can you finish the second part of the scripture?
It says, woe unto him that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not.
Okay.
Therefore shall he not be defended.
This is the point. You might be doing it, quote unquote, the right way. But if you don't believe, you're not going to get what?
Defended.
You're not getting defended. You're not getting the outcome because mixed with your correct effort, there was a bunch of doubt, fear, and I'm not sure's, and this isn't going to work anyway, but you're doing things the right way, quote unquote. Well, if you're executing the counsel the proper way, but you don't believe, he that doubteth is what?
Yeah.
Let's pull it real quick. He that doubteth is damned if he eats. That's Romans 14:23.
Romans chapter 14, verse 23. And he that doubteth is damned.
Stop.
if he
What
eat.
does it mean to be damned?
Verse.
Definition.
Damn. It says, sentenced to everlasting punishment
Stop.
in the future state.
Slow it down. Read it again. Slow. Romans 14:23, and then read the definition of damn slowly. You don't have to rush it.
Romans chapter 14 and verse 23. And he that doubteth.
To doubt is to practice negative perspective, and to not believe the Lord is going to come through for you. The Lord is not going to release you from the chain of darkness. The Lord is not going to release you from the pit. The Lord's not going to save you from your situation. The Lord's not going to be. Christ is not going to do what Christ does. He's not going to give you the salvation you need in this circumstance. That's what doubt is. You don't believe the salvation of Christ will come for you, will help you, if you do and follow and practice obedience. He that doubteth, what?
He that doubteth is damned.
Is damned. Now, what is damned?
Damned. Sentenced to everlasting punishment in a future state.
You're always thinking, if you operate in negativity and doubt, there is no future.
Let him finish what he's asking you to do, but you got to get out of here after that.
Okay. There is no future. There is no benefit. There is no there is no benefit for my good works. What's the profit in righteousness? What's the benefit of doing the right thing? You're mixing that thinking, which the Lord says will cause you to be damned, in with the correct execution. It has to be positive, faithful, believing, pure thinking, and correct, biblical, spiritual, counsel-based execution. Enough times to where it works. Keep reading.
It says, and he that doubteth is damned if he eat, because he eateth not of faith.
Because the Lord was waiting for faith. Not just sacrifice. Not just your efforts. Not just your works. He wants you to believe too. But then there's no that believe.
Because,
but they don't put the word.
but the faith is,
Yeah.
with your works, you have to trust it's going to work out. It still boils down to the fearful person forecast as grievous forecasting. I'm going to read it again. It says the wicked person is fearful, and it always forecasts grievous things. You can't forecast grievous things and do good works and think the Most High is going to bless you. That's what it means. Where he that eateth, we'll read that verse again. It says, he that eateth,
doubteth.
And he that doubteth, and he that doubteth is damned.
Is damned.
So what is it saying? The person that forecasts grievous things and does good works ain't going to get blessed. You can't sit back and think and forecast things are going to work out and do good works and expect the Most High to honor you. Because you're still wicked. You're wicked in intention. Wicked intentions doesn't mean only that I'm trying to get over on you. That is an aspect of being wicked, but also being wicked, I'm doing good works and I don't think it's going to work out. Does that make sense? And this is why what Jonathan did is he feared, he prayed to the Most High, then he went to war with confidence that it was going to be all right. And that the Most High was going to look after him, and that's why the opposing figures that was in front of him end up running away. Because if you don't believe that if you do the best you can do, the Most High is going to look after you, then why the hell are you doing it anyway? That's what he's trying to teach you. There is a confidence and a boldness that comes when you do the right thing. I think it's Wisdom Solomon 5:1. Yes. No. Yes. Wisdom of Solomon 5:1, and I think it's 28:1 in Proverbs. But give me the one in Wisdom of Solomon 5:1. You do it.
Yes, sir.
You gotta get out of here, Brian.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5 and verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness.
Listen, the righteous man understands. The righteous part is what? Yeah, it is 21. It is 21. It's 28 and 1. You give me that. Proverbs 5:1. You read that verse in Wisdom of Solomon in 5 again.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5 and verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness.
Listen, the righteous man is bold. You have to be bold in doing the right work. Because if you're timid in doing the right work, then that's wickedness, and you're damned even if you do the right thing. The righteous has to be bold. Bold in your convictions. And if you do the right thing, the Most High will defend you, and it's going to work out the right way. Hold this and go to Proverbs 28:1.
Proverbs 28:1. The wicked flee when no man pursueth.
The wicked is always what? Timorous.
Fearful.
And afraid. And always focusing on the grievousness of what's not going to work out for them. Nobody's out. Listen, you ever just talk to a person that's wicked, always thinks something. He says the wicked flees when no man pursues. What does that mean?
You're plagued by fear. Nobody's come after you.
You know how many people try to preempt leaving you?
Yeah.
Because they think you're going to leave them first?
Yep.
Because they're afraid you're going to leave them, so I'll leave before you leave because I think you're going to leave. That's an aspect of the wicked fleeing when no man pursues them. Mm-hmm. No man is trying to run you off. But you think you're anticipating they're trying to sit back here and get you, so you run.
And then you get your prophecy.
And then they start running after you because you left. But they were like, I wasn't even trying to push them away.
Because it's exhausting.
But they're anticipating that you're trying to push them away, so they leave before you leave. Yes,
Is that the misery that loves company?
well, but not really, because that person leaves and there's no company with them. They're just running because they're forecasting something bad's going to happen, so they run before they fulfill their evil thoughts. But read on.
But the righteous are as bold as a lion.
The righteous are as bold as a lion. All that means is the righteous person who's doing the right work also has a mindset that follows their righteous behavior. And they believe that if they make the proper decisions and stay in order with their husband, stay in order with the Most High, stay in order with the work, good will happen to them. People don't understand, if you don't have that aspect, why should he bless you?
Therefore, they would not be defended. I can't defend this. Well, I'm looking at all his servants like, man, I want to defend you. I want to defend all these people. I can't defend that.
Because this person is doing physical good works, but don't believe the Most High is real enough to protect them and honor them.
We just look at the guy that's smoking trees and the guy that's sitting
He's
here
wicked,
not wearing fringes, and the guy that's out here obviously being a bozo, and we're saying, I'm not him. We're not saying, oh, I'm the wicked person that operates in fear. The Most High, he can't even bless you if he wants to.
Bro, listen, whether I'm wicked because I want to sit back and take advantage of a person, or I'm wicked because I don't trust that by doing good works, the Most High is going to honor me.
That was the wilderness.
Both equally wicked.
The wilderness was always about the spirit of fear.
Yes.
That's why he's I can't deal with people.
Yes.
I can't break their fear. I'm leading them to death. Their children are going to die.
Moses sends out here to die.
They're going to sit here and drown, or not drown, they're going to sit here and die of thirst and starvation. Mm-hmm. I won't defend them in war.
Yep.
They need a captain that's going to give them some confidence to do the wrong thing, to deviate.
Yep.
I need a captain to help me deviate. I need somebody to make me feel strong. That's contrary to Moses.
Yep.
So that way, I always follow that side because I'm afraid to be negative. So boldly, so I follow a bold negative person. But really, I'm following this person because this person is the most afraid. They're the most fearful. The whole world's experience is about the spirit of fear.
I hope we understand that. And I don't want to keep drilling it. Dawan, yes, sir?
No, it's the same concept of asking for a king.
Yes. Because let this guy fight. Let this guy fight our battles for us. I don't got to fight me to stay in order. This,
I'm afraid.
I hope we understand how wicked playing with fear is. And how wickedness is when you forecast worst case scenarios. And you don't process the fact is if you do things the right way, if you do things decently and in order, you have to forecast. Matter of fact, there's a verse that says, you have to understand that it's in Matthew. I think it's you got to believe that he's a rewarder.
Yeah.
Hebrews rewarder. Shoot. I think it's 12. It's 11. It is 11. It's 11
and 6.
Give me that. Hebrews 11 and 6.
You always quote that scripture, especially
all the time.
during endeavors.
Yeah.
Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 6. But without faith, it is impossible to please
What is he saying? Listen, if you are forecasting grievous things, it is impossible for you to please the Most High. If in your mind you are obsessed with worst case scenarios, it is impossible to please the Heavenly Father. Read on.
For he that cometh to the Most High must believe that he is.
You have to believe the Most High is real. Read on.
And that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him.
You have to believe and you have to be convinced that if you do things the right way, the Most High will believe you and be there and take care of you. If you don't believe that, you're not going to get honored and defended, and you're going to be in this constant, perpetual snare that you'll never be able to get out of. And that is so important. And it doesn't matter about what you experienced in your past. Whatever you experienced in your past, it was you were sitting back here either not following the law, or you were in the knowledge and were ignorant in whatever you were endeavoring. And that's why your result didn't work out favorably the way you expected. But that's why it says, if you diligently seek him. What is to be diligent? That means with painstaking effort. If you with painstaking effort do that which is right, then he'll come through for you. It's that simple. And if you understand that, then there's no need to be caught up into fear or forecasting grievous things. Because all you have to focus on is being better at your craft. If the craft that you're responsible for is to teach, then you can be a better teacher. If the craft is in your works, if the craft is in your counsel, then you just keep working on your craft. If your craft is servicing your husband, then be better at your craft. And if you focus on bettering your craft with a positive outlook, then you will receive the blessing you're looking for. It's that simple. That's what it said, the most of the simplicity that's in following Christ. We make it complex and difficult because we add our grievous fears in the mix.
We're injecting. What you understand is you're injecting your fear into the blessing. And that poisons the blessing.
You don't get the blessing. Do y'all understand that? I don't want to keep driving, and I think we beat a dead horse. The horse is like,
But dealing with the point we're going to in the class.
It goes back to Jonathan and Jonathan's fear. Half of his army, his militia, sat back here and caked up and ran and escaped. So what did he do in response to that? He sat back here and prayed to the Most High, asked the Most High to look after him. Then he sat back here and fought stronger than he did previously. And because he had fought stronger than he did previously, the Most High honored him, and the individuals ran away. It's the same thing that we have to understand. It says, resist the what? The devil and what? And he shall flee from you. What's the devil? The devil is still your fears, the forecasting of worst case scenarios, the overthinking, the overanalyzing. That's why he says fear, when you read in Wisdom Solomon 17, fear attacks or oppresses the what? The conscious.
Yeah.
Your thinking.
It
Fear
never goes
keeps
away.
oppressing your outlook, and you keep thinking about, why does a person keep thinking? Because they keep fearing.
I thought wisdom was supposed to meet you every thought. I thought wisdom was
That's where we're
supposed
going
to.
to keep going. I just want to keep repeating this. Fear, when you constantly overthinking, when you can't stop your thinking, it's because you're full of fear and because you're full of wickedness. Because you keep thinking of scenarios that will justify why not to trust in the Most High. That's what overthinking is.
And it's not practical, prudent thinking.
No.
Because there's this could happen. These are the pros. These are the cons. Let me check my box. Let me check my fail safes. Let me think defensively, and then you move on. And
But a fearful person keeps thinking about everything that can go bad, every possible scenario that can go bad, and those type of people never end up executing, fighting their battle. Because if you overthink something, listen, when you're planning anything, you're supposed to do what you said. Think about the pros and cons and all that. But once you make a decision to take this territory, you got to take it.
Yeah, commit to that belief.
Well, what do you think Trump is doing right now? Where he's sitting back here and firing like 5 top generals. Why is he doing that? Because his top whatever bird colonels are saying, man, this ain't gonna work.
It's not gonna work.
You got to get out of here then, because we're gonna do this. Now, is it foolish? Yes, but the notion is the same. If I'm gonna sit back and fight my battle, I can't entertain any doubt in the room. If you're doubting, if you're telling me what ain't gonna happen, you gotta go. You gotta go, and I need to hear how it can be done. So what he's doing is ill-founded, and it's going to escalate World War III. But I understand the thinking. You can't have a bunch of people that says it ain't going to work in a room when we're trying to figure out if it's going to work or not. Does that make sense? And that analogy you have to use when you're dealing with the spirit of fear in you. Anyway, I'm sorry.
No, 2 Timothy 1:7, classic scripture. These are root scriptures everybody should have in their back pocket.
2 Timothy what?
2 Timothy chapter 1 and verse 7. Okay.
Yeah,
These
exactly.
are root scriptures we should have, but we forget when we're afraid.
Yeah.
You know, all the scriptures you need to apply, you forget when you're in the battle.
But I'm gonna say you're right. But when you're dealing with fear,
Yeah.
you have to drive in your head that a thought that's fearful is wicked. Not just insecurities. Not just, I'm an overthinker. No, listen, you're an overthinker because fear dominates you. And if fear dominates you, then wickedness dominates you. That's a real thing. A lot of us will say, we're just cerebral. Oh, we're just the smartest person in the room, right? Yeah. We're just super thinkers, right? A lot of us think that. It's in the mind. It's all in the mind. But all those cerebral people are fearful people. Because when your mind is constantly going and thinking about what's the worst case scenario, that you know it's evil. Yes, sis? Yes. Whatever your answer is after that, yes. Fear is wickedness. The thought of fear is wickedness. Why? But continue in your statement.
So it's wicked because we're giving ourselves excuses as to why we don't want to give.
Yes, that's an aspect of it. Or you want to control how much you give. You want to control what's dispersed out, how much effort you want to give. How many of us do that? You want to put a little pinky toe in the water instead of serving. Because if you give all your spirit, if I give all my spirit to my husband, what if it doesn't work out? But aren't you supposed to sit back here and serve your husband? But why do you not do it? Because there's wickedness in you. Because you want to control how much you disperse. Because if I've been hurt before, so I don't want to try. I don't want to get hurt again. But the circumstances are different. You know the thing is this. Think about this. And I've said this before in counsel. If you're a good sister, and you were done wrong in the world, and you sat back here and you tried to serve a man in the world the right way, and you were treated wrong, right? And then you come back and have to serve another person in righteousness, and then there's reservations as to why to serve another man in righteousness. This is what people don't think. Why do you think Christ gave you a second chance? It's because the first time you gave your spirit to trying to do the right thing and serve your husband the right way the first time. So if that's what you did the first time, why would you give less the second time? Because the only reason you're here is because you gave your spirit the first time. But people want to say, well, I was exploited in the world. Now I don't want to give my spirit. What value do you have besides giving your spirit to this next person? Why do you think he chose you to get a second chance from the world to the truth? Because you tried to fight. But we'll use the literal thing that you had to go through in the world to justify why the Most High will give you a second chance as to why not to do it the same way the second time. Does that make sense? But once again, you can't live by those sets of rules and expect the Most High to honor you. You have to give your whole spirit up or you won't get rewarded. It's no different than brothers in the truth. Either you go all in. If you don't give your whole spirit to changing and working on with society, why would the Most High sit back and defend you? Because why wouldn't you give your whole spirit? Unless there is fears and concerns and apprehensions of what will happen if you do. But he's saying that fear and those apprehensions is literally why you won't get blessed. That's how you quote unquote unlock the Most High's responsiveness to you. He's the same things happened to Jonathan. I have fear of what might happen. I have to pray to the Most High, and I can't give myself to that fear. I have to fight forward. And in doing that, there's a great chance that I'm going to get blessed. And if I don't, I did my best. Remember when Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were facing certain death? They said, you know what? I know the Most High could change my situation and could remove us from this. But if it doesn't happen, then you know what? I don't care. I'm going to still do things the right way regardless. That is what boldness is. Can you sit back here as a sister or a brother and face the risk of loss and do it anyway because it's the right thing to do? What do you think integrity is? Integrity is the capability of never losing your original state. But what we want to do is, if it doesn't look like it's going to work out, then I'm not going to give my whole spirit. You can't do that and please the Most High at the same time. And all the greats that have served the Most High do not live in that space. Does that make sense? So, just like a man will have reservations of investing more into a spirit that's always doubting and always forecasting the worst, the Most High looks at us the same way. Because aren't we his woman? If all I'm doing is forecasting the worst that can happen in my life if I give myself to the Most High, he gonna be like this. You got to figure it out. When he figures it out, then I'll be here. Because a man can understand that. A man can understand when this woman's acting fishy and weird and I don't know if I can do this and I don't trust you. You're like, bro, all right. Then call me when you sit back here and muster the gumption to trust. When you muster that gumption, cool. A man can understand that, but we're the same way. If we're doubtful and fearful, you're like, well, come back to me when you're serious. When you believe and you're willing to sit back and stick your neck. Because I don't care who you are. Faith is about sticking your neck out and trusting the Most High and trusting that if you do the right thing, this is the simplicity of things. You have to trust if you do the right thing, you live the right way, you make the right decision, the Most High is going to come through for you. You got to make that decision.
Because he's good.
Listen, I'm not here to toot my own horn, but when I was 18, I was going to go on a road with a band of dudes I don't know. Like, who are these dudes I'm going to Albuquerque with? I didn't know the driver of the car. I know him now, but I didn't know really who this guy was. I was just told, listen, or you're 18, You need to leave your mama's house. And are you serious about serving the Most High? Because if you're serious about serving the Most High, go with these dudes tomorrow. It's July 3rd. Are you going to go or not? I'm like, come on! But I'm sitting back here like, damn, bro, I don't know this dude. I don't know this dude. And I kind of know the guy I'm going with. It was me, this brother named Rapa, and another brother who was not to be named. And I'm like, I don't know these dudes like that. We go to class. We crack jokes and every once in a while. And the brother that's driving me to Albuquerque, I've known him for a month. Because he was only here for a month in Cali, and he was on the road. And on his way back on the road, he's going to take me and Rapal with him. I'm like, are you really about this Bible thing? I'm like, but I can sit back and I can go to school and play sports and all this. I'm like, do you really believe this or not? There's a lot of bad that can happen.
How does that work out?
With a bunch of weirdos in Albuquerque in the mountains. There's a lot of things that might not go right. Do you believe that if you do things the right way for the right reasons, the Most High gonna bless you?
Yeah, that Branch Davidian was just 93.
So the Waco boys was tripping.
He was like,
2 years before.
Yeah.
No, 3 years.
3 years.
That's what I'm saying. And you got to decide, are you going to sit back here and really be about this life or not? I could have said, no, I'll stay in Cali. This is good. It's a great camp here in California. They're strong and a lot of great teachers here. Good weather. But they said, listen, Albuquerque is where you're going to develop and grow. And I'm only saying it because all of us has to make a decision similar to that in order for them to really trust the Most High. Because once I made that decision and I started growing, then I was less hesitant to do it again and to do it again. Then there becomes a boldness that comes behind you when you trust that when you do things for the right reasons, in the right spirit, He backs you. Even if it looks scary, it looks like it might not work, or there's a possibility that it might not work, do you believe or not? That's the question everybody has to decide if they want to grow, if they really want to understand the power of the Most High in Christ. Or you can just play Jew with strings on your clothes and not really witness the power. But if you don't give it up like that, then do you really believe? Or is your belief contingent upon what you can control? Every woman that has a man in the truth has to make that decision. Are you going to sit back here and serve whether it's logical in your brain or not? Or are you going to sit back and be plagued by fear, plagued by grievous thoughts?
This could happen.
This could happen also. How are you going to define your life? And then once you make that decision the first time, it makes it easier to make that decision the second time. And then the 10th time. Then you start to have a trust that the Most High will take care of you regardless. Does that make sense? Okay. You good on that? Because I want to kind of...
That's cool.
Okay, so let's get back to Jonathan when he was backwards against the wall. I think it was... Thank you. I'm glad you're back on the verse. It is First Maccabees 11:71, right? I listen. I took some time and veered off because I think that fear verse I read yesterday, and it really hit me out because we don't take enough time to be aware that the fear, that timorous nature we play with, is literally evil. And it's literally wickedness, and it keeps us from doing anything really good. Even if we are doing good works. If you're doing good works with that timorous, fearful nature, or that forecasting of the worst case scenario, the Spirit won't really honor you. And a lot of us play in that spirit of fear and wonder why there's a split between you and the Heavenly Father. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then what we do when we're fearful, we try to control. Then we're at odds with our husband. Then we're sitting back here and getting even worse distance between your husband and the Most High, or you and the Most High. Anyway, there has to be a belief when everything is said and done, regardless of what's logical in your mind. If you obey and do things the right way, he will bless you. You got to know that. And that is where the boldness comes from that we have to all have to really say we have a relationship with Christ. Okay, 1 Maccabees 11 and 71.
1 Maccabees chapter 11 and verse 71. Then Jonathan brake his cloak and cast earth upon his head and prayed, afterwards turning again to battle.
So listen, he prayed. He was surrounded. A lot of his men bounced. He prayed. He went back to fight. Read on.
It says, he put them to flight.
Listen, and once again, we went back to this to say, once he decided to fight, regardless of the possibility of loss, the Most High defended him. And his enemies ran from him, just like the previous enemies of his soldiers that were hired soldiers, and like soldiers from Syria or Cold Syria left him. Now his enemies from Demetrius left him. Hope that makes sense. But continue.
And so they ran away. Now when his own men that were fled saw this, they turned again unto him.
So now they're saying some of his own men came back once they saw what? Them winning the war again. That happens with a lot of fearful people. They'll run. Listen, what you don't want to be, y'all, is one of those front runner Israelites. When things are going good, lock in. When things are going bad, run. Because that's what a lot of... Remember when Judas was fighting wars? And there were certain wars where it looked bad, the numbers were bad, so they went to their home?
Yeah.
And then when Judas started fighting... No, they just went home and got the hell out of it.
Yeah.
Then, when Judas was winning, and the Jews started blowing the horns, then everybody got their swords, armor, and went to start chasing the enemy.
It's that holiday that's not a Hebrew holiday, but it is a Hebrew holiday.
They wanted to make it a holiday.
Yeah, they wanted to make it the holiday.
But it wasn't. But why have a holiday when you was full of fear and you were running this whole time? Anyway, continue.
Now when his own men that were fled saw this, they turned again unto him, and with him pursued them to Cadiz, even unto their own tents, and there they camped. So there were slain of the heathen that day about 3,000 men. But Jonathan returned to Jerusalem.
So 3,000 men of Demetrius II's men died, and Jonathan then went back to Jerusalem unscathed and protected. Let's do real quick. What happened?
Wrong light.
No, it was the wrong light. Better not be power. It's new. It's new power. It's new power. Better not mess up. I'm calling the electrician man. Anyway, let's just being
They
silly.
ain't got no warranty.
You said what?
They ain't no warranty.
That's hilarious. Josephus, book 13. I'm sorry, chapter 13, book 5, paragraph 7.
God. Antiquities of the Jews, book 13, chapter 5, paragraph 7, line 158, page 345. But Jonathan removed out of Galilee, and from the waters which are called Gennesar, for there he was before encamped, and came into the plain that is called Asor, without knowing that the enemy was there. When therefore Demetrius' men knew a day beforehand that Jonathan was coming against them, they lay in ambush in the mountain, who were to assault him on the sudden, while they themselves met him with an army in the plain, which army, when Jonathan saw ready to engage him, he also got ready his own soldiers for the battle, as well as he was able. But those that were laid in ambush by Demetrius' generals being behind them, the Jews were afraid lest they should be caught in the midst between two bodies and perish. So they ran away in haste. And indeed, all the rest left Jonathan. But a few that were in number about 50, who stayed with him, and with Mattathias, the son of Absalom, and Judas, the son of Capsius, who were commanders of the whole army.
Those numbers are crazy. You got 50 men to fight an entire army out. How would that not put anybody in fear? But obviously, that's asking a lot for us to be able to process that. But there's a scripture that talks about the Most High won't give you anything you can't what?
Handle.
And what that means is whatever you've experienced in your life has prepared you for the next battle. Jonathan had witnessed ridiculous wars, ridiculous odds, whether it was under his realm or Judas's realm. And even though this situation brought the spirit of fear in him, he had enough faith to resettle himself and fight what was inside of him. Just like the Most High has given us enough experiences that the Most High is with you, not to let your fears get in the way of you pleasing the Most High even to this day.
Right. You know, you have to have a situation that requires faith, which is usually a fearful situation, in order to apply faith. You know, hope that is seen is not hope. So if you can see it, you wouldn't have need for hope. So the Most High got to put us in positions that require us to be afraid, and then examine what we're going to do once we're afraid.
Huh? The scripture says, but the problem with what you said is that affliction in the hour making the man forget pleasure. When we're catching hell, in the midst of catching hell, we forgot the Most High has been there for us in difficult situations. And then we panic. And when we panic, we start forecasting what? Bad, evil.
Yeah, Wisdom of Solomon 17.
That's what we went over before you got here. We start forecasting worst case scenarios after what? Once you were sitting back here and just consumed with fear.
Right.
But you forget that he's been with you this entire time. So it's important. This is why what Jonathan is about to do is perfect. He paused. He prayed to the Most High. Then he went to war. It's no different than what David did when he was about to get envious. When David was about to be envious about what Saul was putting him through, what he had to do, he had to pray and think about the temple. And once he thought about the temple, he obviously thought about the Most High, and that helped shake that envy from him. It's no different than us. When that fear hits us, when that doubt hits you, you have to remember the Most High and how he's been with you and taking care of you this entire time. Anyway, continue in the Josephus.
But a few that were in number, about 50, who stayed with him, and with Mattathias, the son of Absalom.
Just 50, bro. It's crazy. Read on.
And Judas, the son of Capsius, who were commanders of the whole army. These marched boldly, and like men desperate against the enemy, and so pushed them, that by their courage they daunted them.
When it says you're desperate, what does that mean? A desperate man has what? A desperate man has nothing to lose. But a faithful man has nothing to lose either. When you truly have faith, you have nothing to lose. You're all in on doing things the right way, and you'll live with the results whether you gain something or not. Does that make sense? Because all Jonathan had was his faith and his fighting. When everything is, when it's skin for skin, all you got is your works for the Most High and your fight. And can you live with that? And can you trust that if you do the right thing and you fight your tail off, you'll get blessed? Because that's all faith is. Read on.
These marched boldly, and like men desperate against the enemy, and some pushed them, that by their courage they daunted them, and with their weapons in their hand they put them to flight. And when those soldiers of Jonathan that had retired saw the enemy giving way, they got together after their flight, and pursued them with great violence. And thus did they as far as Kadesh, where the camp of the enemy lay.
You know, and also, you can't get angry at the doubtful, because this is life. In life, we all have a choice to choose faith or fuel fear. If you choose faith, you can't get angry at the person who chooses fear. You just have to sit back here and understand, hey, keep living by fear, and if you do it consistently enough, maybe the Most High will motivate others to sit back and live in faith too.
You live by faith, bro.
Yes.
You said fear. That's
Okay,
what,
Salaki.
Yeah.
To live in faith, not fear. My apologies. Let's go to Judith chapter 10, verse 8. Judith chapter 10 and verse 8. This is a great verse for us to hold on to. Don't forget, Judith had to sit. What did Judith have to do? Y'all remember?
Operate like a man in war.
Operate like a man in war, because the men weren't fighting their battles. And she had to sit back here and get to the tent of Holofernes and chop this dude's head off. Listen, do you think it takes one swing to chop a person's head off? You know how bloody and nasty and messy that is? To chop a guy's head off. It's not like Supernatural. You cut a guy's head off in one swing.
No.
You're chopping through muscle and sinews out. So for what she did was man's work, and it took heart and courage to do that. And there was a very good possibility that when she tried to swing, that man would overpower her. Holofernes was a what? He was a military general. This guy is used to fighting wars. Right? So what if it didn't work out? She would have been dead and made an example of. Keep that in mind. Read Judith 10 and 8.
Judith chapter 10 and verse 8. The Most High, the power of our fathers, give thee favor, and accomplish thy enterprise to the glory of the children of Israel.
So he says, listen, the Most High bless your enterprise. But why did the Most High bless your enterprise? He says, because it was to the glory of the children of Israel. That's something that we have to be conscious of when we're doing our job for the Most High. He will bless your enterprises if it's in the right spirit. If you're doing it to take care of your nation. And the truth is this, sometimes it has to be as simple as that. Because if you overthink it beyond that, you'll think yourself out of doing good works. How many times can you overthink things and overprocess things and oversmart things and think yourself out of good works? When in actuality, you have to keep it simple. I'm going to do this good work because it's to the benefit of the nation. Or I'm going to do this good work because it's to the benefit of my husband, which will benefit the nation. Sometimes you got to think that way instead of thinking about what's the worst that could happen. How am I going to lose in this situation? What if it goes bad? You can't think that way. Oh, it's quadruple, man? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. We're going to be hydrated like... No, that's orange. There you go. Yeah. Anyway. Read that verse again. Judah 10 and 8.
Judith chapter 10 and verse 8. The Most High, the power of our fathers, give thee favor, and accomplish thine enterprises to the glory of the children of Israel.
He will bless our enterprises as long as our works are towards the glory of the nation. That's all I can say. Because if you overthink things more than that, you will overprocess and overthink why you do good works. And now you're out of pocket with the Heavenly Father. So when the numbers were 50 versus an entire army, his intention was just to fight for the nation's sake, because if not, he definitely wasn't going to sit back here and the nation was going to survive. So that mindset protected him and protected the people that stood to fight. Okay, that deals and that finishes that chapter out. Man, it's loud. We're going to just try to talk loud through it.
Gotta get a verse. Ecclesiastes 4:28. You might have had
Ecclesiastes, no, I didn't go there yet. Ecclesiastes 4:28 in the Apocrypha.
You might already got it.
No, we didn't do it. This is a good verse.
Ecclesiastes chapter 4 and verse 28.
You gotta read like you're in a street teacher, man. We lucky we in Texas, like it don't rain all the time. We'd be in trouble.
Ecclesiastes chapter 4 and verse 28.
That one, you might want to get closer and get like right here, just to neutralize the sound. Listen, I go read that verse for now. Read it loud. Do not have your head down. Have your head up.
Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 28. Strive for the truth unto death.
It says, strive to the truth unto what?
Death.
So what kind of fight is the Most High anticipating? He's anticipating a fight where your life is on the line.
Yep.
You ever seen a man fight when his life is on the line?
That's why I said desperate earlier.
Yep. Because when you fight, when your life is on the line, it's an intensity because you're fighting to survive. He says, put forth that kind of effort. Read on.
Both sides shall fight for thee.
Then the Most High will come through for you.
Okay.
So what he's showing is the intensity behind the effort is what the Most High is looking for. Once you apply that intensity, then it'll get the Most High to be activated to come through for you.
And on your point, what that also means is operating and making a decision like there's no plan B.
Yeah.
Like there's no other option. Because that's what, when you read about them being desperate, there was no other option. They were surrounded. They had to do this. When you're sitting back here and making a decision to serve your husband, when you're operating and sit back and work with the brothers, there's no option.
Right.
It's just this. And if you have that mindset, then the Most High will defend you. Whether it's life or death, or you take it like it's life or death, and there's no turning back, the Lord will provide for you. Y'all understand that He'll come through for you when you realize there's no other option. When you operate like there's no turning back. Then He comes through. He don't come through when there's plan B's and I'm not sure and I'm thinking about previous worst case scenarios. He won't bless you that way.
Or toe dipping.
Yeah. But when you're being extra cautious and fearful, He's not going to come through for you. It's when you have that all-in approach is when He comes through for you and He has that mercy. It's just what it is. You have another verse?
No, that's it.
Anyway, so let's do let's go now to 1 Maccabees chapter 12. And this is going to kind of take things a little different. I wanted to take this a different direction than kind of the story was going to take us. I don't know, man, because we're running low on time, and I don't know if I want to do this.
I think we need to go a little more into fear.
Well, but that's my point. That's my concern. Well, that's my concern with going into chapter 12, because I was going to go an entirely different direction.
I didn't like what's
into chapter 12. So adding different stuff in the mix.
I think us confronting.
Well, listen, are there any questions about what we talked about dealing with the fear? I guess the answer is no. So what you had to say, Daria?
Well, my question was this. I got a question.
Do you really have a question?
No,
I guess
I don't got a question now. But how do I? Okay, I know I have to have faith or more faith, but I can't stop having flashbacks. I can't stop. The scary thing happened to me, and it really panicked me. I got really panicky. I didn't quit the truth. I'm still here. But how do I get over it? I know you're telling me I gotta fix. But what do I have to do to look at the situation strong with the spirit that the Most High wants me to do, so I don't keep creating? I can't make fear just because you taught the class does not mean I'm not gonna be afraid tomorrow.
Yeah, no.
That happens too. We have faith for about an hour and a half
All the time, bro.
hour and a half of faith after class.
Yeah.
But how do I sustain belief? I know it's wrong. I know intense fear and prognosticating.
Evil prognostication.
Evil prognostications and self-fulfilling prophecies and it's all going to fall apart, things wrong. How do I sustain the little faith I have?
I got it. Go to Proverbs 16 and 3. Read that.
Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 3.
To answer your question, fear continues to rise. Thoughts continue to happen. Overthinking and evil prognostication continues to flow in the person's mind. Right? Read on.
Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 3.
Yep.
Commit thy works unto the Most High, and thy thoughts shall be established.
Listen, the only thing you can control is the conduct that you operate in. Because if your works are pure, then the Most High's blessings will be better. The problem is when we sit back here and have those evil prognostications and these evil projections, in our mind, whether you do good or bad, you're going to get punished or evil's going to happen. But the response to a negative outlook is to believe that if I do things the right way, if I carry myself with better discipline, humility, obedience, then I'll get a better response from the Most High.
Is it not this?
Then it says, commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts will be established. Your thoughts will only be established once you do things the right way long enough, and you start to get rewarded for it.
You gotta believe what you say.
Come.
I got a verse on that. Psalms 32, 6 and 7. Psalms chapter 32, verse 6 and 7.
Psalms chapter 32 and verse 6. For this shall everyone that is godly pray unto thee.
It said, this is what everybody shall do. That's what?
Godly.
So there's things that people do when they're afraid that are not godly. And then this is what people do that are godly. This is what they do when they're afraid. Read on.
For this shall everyone that is godly pray unto thee.
They shall do what?
Pray unto thee.
Number one thing you do when you're afraid, you gotta do what? You gotta pray. You gotta pray to the Most High. Because godly people pray. Read on.
In the time when thou mayest be found.
Go ahead. When there's opportunity, when your life may almost be taken. Read on.
Surely in the floods.
But what shall you say? What shall be your prayer?
Surely in the floods of great waters.
Go ahead.
They shall not come nigh.
You gotta believe what you're saying to the Most High. You gotta believe that in your prayers that the Most High will save you out of that condition. Read on.
Shall not come nigh unto him.
This flood water is not gonna get close to me. You gotta tell yourself that, and you gotta pray to the Most High to keep you safe, and you gotta believe that prayer. Read on.
Verse 7. Thou art my hiding place.
And what will you pray to the Most High?
Thou art my hiding place.
You're my security. Read on.
Thou shalt preserve me.
You're the one that's going to preserve me from trouble. But you just can't say it. You got to believe it. You just can't say it. You got to believe that the Most High will pull you out of trouble. Read on.
Thou shalt compass me about with song of deliverance.
It says, I'm going to keep singing songs of deliverance to the Most High. It's not just about sending up a prayer that's empty, that has no validation behind it. You pray to the Most High knowing with faith and belief that He is going to come through for you. That's what the godly do when they're in trouble.
So you're saying, sing praises, meaning that I'm always giving my mind to praise the Most High and believing and seeing the good. I practice it every day or all the time?
Every day. But you got to know that.
You got more than that? Go to Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha chapter 2. Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha chapter 2, and we're going to read verse 6 down.
6. Believe in him, and he will help thee.
Listen, if you believe in him, if you have the capability to trust that if you do things the right way and you're in order, he will come through for you. But he's not going to come through for you if you don't believe him. You don't trust that there is a reward for honorable behavior. Even throughout history, when you read Deuteronomy 28, if we kept the law and we were obedient, we would at least be protected.
But that's real. And what we don't do, we don't live in the real.
Yeah.
Just like there's bad things that happen, there was also good things that happen. But what Israelites do is not acknowledge the good when it comes. We say, oh yeah, it happened, and then skip on.
Yeah.
But when bad happens, you hold on to that event, and you stress that event for months to years. And when good happens, it only lasts a week. And that's why you have an imbalance of faith versus doubt. Because do you choose to harp? Harp is like playing an instrument. Do you harp and keep playing the good? Or do you harp and keep playing the bad? And this is why you have negative momentum. Negative momentum comes from harping your practices, your daily rituals. You are your rituals. David's ritual was, I will sing songs of deliverance. How can you sing a song if you don't learn the words? You have to hear the words over and over and over.
How the Most High is delivered.
That's how you learn a song. You learn a song by hearing the same song day after day after day. Practice makes perfect. If you don't practice, you don't have that faith. If you don't practice, you don't have that diligence. If you don't practice, you don't have that ability to resist doubt. You have to practice the ability to resist doubt. The fruit of the Spirit is what? They're skill sets. The fruits of the Spirit are skills. They're disciplines. They require practices. We're religious if we're not practicing. You read and you practice. You read and you practice. And you read and you practice. You look for situations to practice. But if you're not looking for scenarios to practice, when the real events come, you will be the negative-minded person the Lord can't defend. Why? You didn't practice. So you didn't establish your thoughts.
Continue Ecclesiastes chapter 2, verse 6.
Ecclesiastes chapter 2 and verse 6. Believe in him, and he will help thee.
But do you believe that? Do you trust that if you hold on to him and you cling to him, he's going to help you? Read on.
Order thy way aright, and trust in him.
So once again, this ties into what Proverbs 16 and 3 says. Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts will be established. He says you have to order your way aright. So if things aren't going the way you want it, is your first inclination to tighten up your works, tighten up your conduct, tighten up your outlook? What we want to do is say, I tried and I did good works and the Most High didn't bless me. That is the one-way ticket to being disconnected from the Most High. Because you have to say, okay, if things aren't going how I want, you have to do more of the same good works. You have to be more consistent in the good works.
So I gotta be stubborn in righteousness as I'm stubborn in my way.
Just read verse 4.
Verse 4. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate.
He says if the Most High brings you low, you still got to do things the right way. How many times are we cheerful when we're brought down to a low estate? Very rarely are we cheerful and positive and can project that everything's going to be okay when things don't look okay. But he keeps teaching you that you have to sit back and see the good in everything you're experiencing, even when he's bringing you low. So even your condition changing, fear may be hitting you, doubt may be hitting you, can't change your confidence.
But this is why moderation is so important.
Yes.
If you don't practice moderation, you're a slave to extreme thinking.
Yes.
And whatever your environment dictates, you'll follow that environment.
Because if you're in the lowest state, I'm gonna get low.
Yeah.
If things are going good, I'm gonna get high.
But if I'm in a classroom environment, it dictates spiritual thinking. If I'm in a negative environment, I can't stop my vice.
Yep.
Your thinking just matches your environment. So if you don't practice moderation, you don't have the ability to live in the real and not be pulled by false thinking.
That's what Paul said. I know how to be a bond of the base.
But
Whether things
you're
are
base,
going
you-
good or
yeah.
being brought to a lower state, I'm still cheerful.
I only believe why I abound.
Yep.
Well, now I'm a sometimes Jew. Or I only believe when I'm a base. I'm a base, then I read the Bible.
Because the Bible
I'm
do that.
trying to read the man, you know what? These cops is tripping. Lord. But
I
when
got a court date. I got a court
court's
date.
coming,
Let me stop.
I love the Lord. That one-way thinking is the practice of extreme thinking. But if you practice moderation and you practice spiritual, biblical optimism, you'll have the wherewithal when the times come. And you start getting pulled into that vacuum of doubt, that vacuum of fear. It's a vacuum. It's pulling you. You're being pulled to think a certain way. But if you're not identifying the situation, because you don't practice identifying problems, then you're just going to be flowed into problems, flowed into debates, flowed into arguments. You're going to flow into weakness because you've only practiced letting the environment dictate your feelings, letting the environment dictate your emotions, letting the environment dictate where you give your mind or the marriage looks shaky. It's over. We're on vacation. Things are great. The stocks are up. You're like that stock market guy that wants to get off the building. When stocks are good, he's popping champagne. When stocks go down 30%, he's sitting at the rooftop with tears in his eyes, taking his tie off, not sure what he wants to do. That's a person that's not tethered. If you want to maintain a halfway decent way of being optimistic spiritually, you have to tether yourself to moderation so that the bad things aren't so bad. They don't pull you down so much.
Yeah.
Because, listen, I know about negative thinking because when the bad things happen, it must mean it's over. The cop's right behind me. His lights cut on. It's serious. I'm going to jail tonight. And you look up the cop's just turned around and he's on lunch break. He's trying to get lunch. Happy hour's been closed. So he got the lights going to get to the spot.
I'm going to jail tonight.
But I'm over here, it's going to jail tonight. It's going to jail. Call the brothers. Let them know.
Text them now. Listen, man. I'm just letting you know now. You ready to get me out of? Set up bail, man.
Yeah. Let me know. Let me know what's going on. The lights are on. It's over.
We have a collect call from.
Yeah. This brother was doubting.
I'm just calling to let you know that I ain't got no insurance.
No insurance.
And they right behind me.
But you know what? If the Spirit had established their works properly, paid my insurance, been responsible, that's how you can't pay insurance. To keep it honest with you. Then are you serving the brothers? Are you counseling? Are you teaching class?
Better be teaching.
Are you showing up on the Spirit? Were you coming potent? Are you coming potent to class? You're the spirit of caring about other men? Or are you obsessed with your feelings and what you're going through? And now, here comes those red lights in your life. Here comes those flashlights in your life. And you know, I've been sinning for about 2 weeks deep. There's no way God's going to. I've been drinking, and I don't step. There's no way God's going to back me up. I'm going to jail. Well, which one is it?
How about this? The difference between the two is your works. And that's why the Moses said you better focus on getting your works aright. Because your confidence and your purity of outlook is based upon what? Your works. If you're doing good works, if you're making the right adjustments in your works, then you have nothing to worry about. That's the point.
My intentions
There's
wrong.
nothing to stress about. So whether I'm high or low, things are going good or not, it doesn't matter because my works are consistent.
And I will practice moderation.
And practicing that moderation, the Most High is going to put everybody to the test. What you're reading is Ecclesiastes 2, right?
Yep.
Read verse 1.
Yep.
Ecclesiastes chapter 2 and verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation.
What does that mean? The Most High is going to put you through the test to determine do you really want to serve Him or not. So that means every situation that He creates is going to be a test. And then if you've been accustomed to practicing and understanding that I got to overcome these tests and I overcome these previous battles, the Most High will incrementally increase the battle to elevate your level of faith. but you got to practice what you preach too.
Yeah.
Go to Job 4:3 real quick and come back to Ecclesiastes. Because the most I want to see, are you just saying this, or do you actually believe this?
Huh?
You're saying you want to serve the Lord, or do you believe you want to serve the Lord? How much do you believe it? Job chapter 4 verse 3. Read that.
Job chapter 4 and verse 3. Behold, thou hast instructed many.
Oh, it's easy to tell other people how to overcome fear. You've been a great instructor on telling people how to overcome obstacles.
Yep.
Read on.
And thou hast strengthened the weak hands.
It says, and you've strengthened what?
The weak hands.
You've strengthened, through your teaching, the weak hands, elevating other people out of fear in situations. Read on.
Thy words have upholden him.
It says that you use what?
Thy words.
That means you've been a great teacher. You've been giving scriptures to people. You're a great counselor.
Great help.
Great help. But are you just one to deliver words to other people? Or the Most High want to see something else? Read on.
Thy words have upholden him that was fallen.
Go ahead.
And thou hast strengthened the feeble knees.
Go ahead.
But now it is come upon thee.
But now you got to practice what you preach. And now the Most High want to see, what are you going to do when you're in a situation?
That's crazy, bro.
It's easy to tell other people, oh, don't be scared of that.
Just fight your battle.
I wouldn't be afraid of the police. I wouldn't be afraid of getting evicted.
You're not fighting your battles.
I wouldn't be afraid of divorce. I wouldn't be afraid of these things. But the Most High is going to put you through the same situation to determine, do you practice what you preach? Read on.
And thou faintest.
And now you did what?
Faintest.
So are you going to faint when the Most High bring a scenario upon you? Or are you just good at telling other people to overcome it and don't be worried about it? That's nothing to worry about. I wouldn't worry about that.
Yep.
I wouldn't be afraid of that. Because it's easy to say it.
I know.
But the Most High wants evidence. He wants validation. And he wants a demonstration.
Are you living what you're saying?
Are you living what you're saying? Because it's easy to tell people to overcome something and to not give in to fear. But what about when you're in a situation of fear? Do you believe what you say?
Can I pull this verse right on your point? Ecclesiastes 37 and 19. Ecclesiastes 37 and 19 on what chapter you want to say. Ecclesiastes 37 and 19.
Ecclesiastes chapter 37 and verse 19. There is one that is wise and teacheth many.
There's a lot of people that got counsel for a lot of people. There's a lot of people that can give strength to others, counsel the strength, counsel and give the right solution for people. Read on.
And yet is unprofitable to himself.
And when it's time for them to fight their battle, they crumble. This happens a lot. And what this guy is telling Job is, you're used to counseling and teaching and pulling people to strength, but when you get touched, you can't handle it. There's a lot of us, most like everything we say, everything we counsel men through, everything we push people through, most like I'm like, can you handle it? If you're teaching obedience, do you know what obedience is? Yep. You're gonna push ribs and brothers to being in order and being obedient. Are you obedient? Because the Most High is gonna check our intentions all throughout life.
You know, the Most High is going to determine, even with Jonathan, are you going to lead by example? That's why he got 50 men left.
Yep.
He got 50 men left to fight because the Most High want to see if you're going to lead by example. Are you going to tell men to fight, or are you going to go and fight yourself?
You going to fight your fear? Because it's really about fear. You going to fight your fear? Because when he fought his fear, everybody else fought their fear.
Yep.
And that's the key to leadership. And the Most High sits back here and draws you into it. Because a lot of us have gifts and talents of communication, and we can logically process things, and we can sit back here and teach about love and mercy. But do you have love and mercy? You can teach about forgiveness, but can you forgive? You want to teach about outlet, but can you see the good in people? And that's how the Most High shows a mirror reflection of you. Are you really serious about this life? Because the Most High puts us all through scenarios to reveal that we have a lot of work to do. And as much as we think we're on point, we're not as on point as we think we are.
Okay.
We're all subject to being humbled and adjusted, and for us to sit back and keep going back to the lab and working on our craft. Because really, this is still about working on your spiritual craft. For those of y'all who understand sports, all sports is about mastering your craft, mastering your approach, mastering your technique. Do you think serving the Most High is any different? When you're playing a sport and you fail on the court, when you fail in your game, are you supposed to just get emotional that you failed, or is there a reason that you failed? If the jump shot is flat and you're missing your jump shot, you're gonna sit back and get angry that you just suck, you're just not good, or is there a reason? Okay, maybe my elbow, maybe I'm chicken winging it. Maybe I'm not in shape and my legs are weak. I'm playing all this defense and I don't have no legs for my shot. Maybe I got to get in shape a little bit better. There's always a reason for failure. Do we look at the same thing spiritually? Maybe you didn't get blessed here because your outlook was impure. Maybe the Most High didn't bless you because you're too mouthy. You can't see the good in things. Do you process your spiritual battle like people in the world can understand how to solve? There's a reason Christ said the children of what's that?
The children of darkness
are wiser than the children of the light. Because in the world, if I'm playing sports and I'm bricking shots, oh man, I just suck at this. I can't make it. Or you sit back and say, let me look at the film. When my shot is falling, how am I shooting? Versus when I'm not making my shots, how is my mechanics different? Worldly people can understand it. There is a reason I'm failing. There is a reason things aren't working out. Spiritual people, the children of light, don't lack this capability. Lack the ability to say, okay, listen, I'm not going to sit back here and just mentally break down because things aren't going right. How is my outlook different today than it was 2 weeks ago? Why am I so inconsistent with my emotions? Because you can understand on a sports field, yeah, I'm not producing because I'm not consistent. My defense is lacking, or I see guys when my son plays ball, and every time there's a guy on his court that's very talented, but if somebody defends him physically and is a little rough with him, and it got his own height, then he can't make shots. But when he got space, he's sitting back here doing airplanes, leaving that, getting coy, getting shots. You know that front runner guy, I got a couple of shots, you can't tell me nothing. You're doing step backs, woo-hoo. But when you beat him up a little bit, all of a sudden, he don't play defense. Now we don't play defense. Now he's lacking. Gotta do a backdoor cuts on him. He's getting exposed. He's doing this. Where's the help? Where's the help? Yeah. You know that guy, right? In the sports realm. You gotta sit him down. And you gotta say, listen, man, when shots don't fall, you gotta play harder on defense. There is a reason. And then maybe you gotta bulk up a little bit more next time to deal with getting hit. Maybe you gotta practice shooting with a body over or a hand in your face. That's why in the pros they'll sit back and have like a broom. They'll put a broom over your face. You have to sit back and shoot over the broom. Why am I explaining that? In the world, there is a reason why the results aren't working out the way it's supposed to work out. Yep. But we can't look at that in the spiritual realm. Maybe if you change your outlook and do what the scriptures say, you'll get a better result. Change your patterns, change your habits, change your tendencies, and you get a better spiritual response. If you focus on breaking what's inside of you in a spiritual way, you'll get a better response from the Most High.
Proper spiritual execution.
But in the world, people get that. I have to sit down and have a better personality than my boss because I'm not going to get a raise if I don't. But we don't know how to sit back here and talk to our husband the right way to get what you're asking for from him. If you don't know how to talk to him, you're not going to get what you want. Anyway, I hope y'all can see that, because if we don't understand the solution to things not working out in our life in the spirit is because the certain works you're doing aren't warranting the blessings. But we can easily see what you got to tell somebody else to fight their battle. But you can't see what it takes for you to get connected to the Most High and get his recognition. And that's our sickness. That's one of our sicknesses. Is there anything else on that point?
Job, finish that verse in Job chapter 4.
Mm-hmm.
Job chapter 4 and verse 5. But now it is come upon thee, and thou faintest. It toucheth thee, and thou art troubled.
Now when the situation, when your back is against the wall Are you not gonna do what you've been telling people to do when their back was against the wall? Are you not gonna say, you know what, this too shall pass, I'm not gonna worry about it. You know what, the Most High is in control. Or do we tuck tail and run and evade all assistance from the Most High because we don't have no faith?
So I live in despair
And become cowards.
Yeah.
Because that's the opposite of faith is a coward.
Yep.
I become a coward and there's no fight in me no more.
Because the fight is whether I get what I wanted to do or not. I'm still doing this.
I'm still
giving my whole spirit to it. There's no plan B. I'm not going to be in this spirit of despair. I already made this choice. I'm going to live and die with this choice. That's it.
Yep.
When you don't operate in that space, the Most High won't defend you.
You won't have the courage to maintain.
But that's the temptation. Don't forget the temptation, the purpose of the temptation, the purpose of the stress is to force everybody to that decision because He loves you. The Most High is trying to get us into that fight or flight mindset.
And He wants to know how much you love Him.
That's the point.
How about that?
But that desperate nature, there's no turning back. This is it. He wants that. He's a man of war.
If it doesn't look good, what I'm saying is, if it doesn't look good, I don't love Him. I love Him when it looks good. But if it doesn't look good, I don't love
In
Him.
the situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
When it looks dire and hopeless, then my faith in the Most High goes out the window.
Bingo.
Read on.
That means your love is contingent upon what you want out to do.
Right.
And the Most High can't back that.
Read.
Verse 6. Is not this thy fear?
Is this going to expose you that you can't practice what you preach, and you can't have faith when your back is against the wall? Will not the Most High bring your fear to the forefront? Read on.
Thy confidence.
They said, but was it the teaching that you've been telling other people that have faith and confidence in the Most High? How come it wasn't your confidence? You know why? Because it's easier to tell somebody to do something than to live it yourself. He said, was this not your confidence? Read on.
Thy hope.
Was not your words your hope and inspiration? Was it your teaching and your inspiration supposed to be the same thing you use for yourself? Do you not believe the words you've been telling other people to keep them strong? Read on.
And the uprightness of thy way.
And was it not the security and the uprightness of thy ways? So what he's saying is, the Most High will expose everybody's words, everybody's belief, everybody's disposition, everybody's mentality. He'll create the scenario where He wants to see, do you really believe or not?
Yep.
Yes, sis.
Is that why
You got to speak up a little bit, just a little bit. Yes.
Now, when you come back in, because your confidence has to be in Him,
Yes.
and your belief has to be in Him.
Your fear has to be in Him. Your confidence has to be in Him. Your inspiration, the uprightness of your hands. So He said all these things have to be in the Most High. What the Most High wants to see, He's going to put everybody to the test. Remember, what did He hit Job? He hit Job in the body. He hit Job in his flesh. He took his kids. He took his house. He took his land. He took his animals. And it damn near took his life. So every aspect of Job's life was touched. Physically touched. Children touched. Psychologically touched. His servants, all of them got put to death. A lot of them died, got attacked by the Sabians. Mm-hmm. All the animals got slaughtered.
Which is his wealth.
The house fell down. Kids died. What was the Most High doing with Job? Everything was about a trial. And that's why the scripture says in the New Testament, have you heard the trials of Job? What's a trial?
A test.
It's a test. Everybody's going to be tested. So it's better to know if I'm going to be tested, you better have the answer sheet. Before you take the test, you got to have the answers. What are the answers to the test? I got to have faith. I got to have confidence. I got to have courage. I got to have fortitude. Those are still virtues. Those are virtues that get you through the test. If you don't have those elements and those virtues to get through the test, then you'll fail the test when the test comes. You didn't feel like it was important enough to to acquire these virtues. You know where the fortitude comes from? You know where the courage comes from? The little battles. The little battles add up to bigger battles. The Most High don't, like Ward brought out earlier, he don't give you more than you can handle. So what does the Most High do? He throws little battles at you until you master those little battles. Then the battles get bigger. Then the circumstances get bigger. Just like Job's situation, his situation changed consecutively within minutes and hours, and got progressively worse and worse and worse. But that's life. He just lived it all in a short amount of time. But the Most High was faithful. He got it all back. But what does the Most High do? He wants to see, do you have these virtues, which are the answers to the test to get you through fearful situations where you don't have no control. So the Most High, with the test, he also gives you an ability. He says, there's nothing common that's coming to a man
That's common to man.
that's not common to man. No temptation that's coming to man. What's that, 1 Corinthians 10 and 13? There's no, read that right there. He said, there's no temptation that has come upon man that's not common to man. He said, but with the temptation, the Most High is faithful. Read that.
1 Corinthians chapter 10.
He makes a way.
1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 13. There had no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man.
Read on.
But the Most High is faithful.
Well, who's faithful?
But the Most High is faithful.
So the temptation is the trial, is the test. So who do you got to put your faith in? The Most High. Read on.
Who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able.
Read on.
But with the temptation,
Go ahead.
also make a way to escape.
You know what there is in the midst of the temptation? There's always an exit. We just don't know. We just don't see the exit. And when the building's on fire, we don't see the exit sign. Because the smoke is there, the panic is there, my anxiety is there, so I don't see the exit. There's always an exit. There's always a way out. We just don't know what the exit is, where it's located.
We lose our but what's the exit? The exit is the exit from your carnal response, not an exit from the battle. It's the exit from your flesh, so you can maintain that spiritual mindset needed to get blessed. Because what we do when we go through these issues, these temptations, we want to get the hell out of the battle.
Yep.
The escape isn't getting away from the battle. The escape is overcoming that flesh that wants to dominate your decision making. Because half the time we can't see things spiritual because we're cloudy minded.
Because the idea is to quit. That's what the flesh says. I quit. I give up. I'm gonna ring the bell like the Navy SEALs. I quit. I didn't make it.
Yep.
Because that's what they want to see. They want to see if you're gonna ring the bell.
Yep.
Are you tired of waiting in this water, in this ice cold water, carrying logs, flipping over in boats?
Yep.
Are you gonna ring the bell and give up, or are you gonna keep fighting and may the best man win? That's what the Most High wants to see also. That's what the idea the Most High is putting us through situations that require major faith. Because he wants to see, are you going to quit or are you going to have more faith in him? That was it. That's all I want to bring out of that right there. You can let that go in Job too. Because it's all a test.
I want to pull Ecclesiastes 27 and 3.
Yep.
Ecclesiastes chapter 27 and verse 3. Unless a man hold himself diligently in the fear of the Lord.
That means you better hold on to the fear of the Most High stronger than you hold on to your opinion.
Yep.
Stronger than you hold on to your fear. Because there are competitions for your spirit. There's a competition. What spirit is going to dominate you? Are you going to hold on to the fear of the Lord or doubt? Are you going to hold on to counsel or opinion? Are you going to hold on to the right method or deviate out of, you know what, I just can't, I don't trust it's going to work. Because I don't trust. I just don't trust. I'm one of those kind of people, I have trust issues. You let your trust issues damage your spirit and force you from the fear of the Lord. You are the vessel. Your body is the temple for spirit. For the Most High Spirit or the other spirit. Are you making yourself available for the Most High to use? Or are you making yourself available for the other person to use? Which one is it? Well, the scripture says, unless you what?
Unless a man hold himself diligently in the fear of the
You
Lord.
have to hold yourself. That means repetition, 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 class, 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 correction, 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 self-inventory, 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 and get an outside perspective consistently about yourself versus your own personal perspective. That's a person that's checking the boxes when it comes to maintaining their spirit. They're not living off religious highs and lows. Reading here and there.
Or self-righteousness.
Yeah, I'm just on point. Because I was on point in the 90s. We talked about that in the class earlier. About Israel dwelling in the past. You gotta live in the now. I had faith 10 years ago. I had faith 5 years ago. I had faith about a year ago. We got faith today. Because today comes with promise too. Are your battles, are your victories recent? If your battles and your victories aren't recently overcome, or you're not in the process of overcoming your battles right now in the moment, are you holding yourself diligently? Are you maintaining accountability? Are you confessing and discussing war scenarios or tactic scenarios in your life? Are you confessing things that may be holding you down and pulling your spirit down? Are you ridding yourself from vice? Are you cutting and trimming the fat sufficiently? Read.
Unless a man hold himself diligently in the fear of the Lord.
If you don't do this, if you don't maintain your bearing, if you don't maintain your spiritual constitution, if you don't maintain, like Shasha 1 brings out, your integrity. Read.
His house.
His what?
His house shall soon be overthrown.
Your mind will be overthrown, which means your decisions will be overthrown, and the people that are affected by your doubt and your fear, they will be overthrown. Because you can't address their problems because you haven't addressed your own problems. If I don't fight my addictions, I can't address addiction in my house. If I don't address my slothfulness, I can't address slothfulness in my house. If I don't address my poor performances spiritually, then what gives me the right, other than I have a Bible in my hand, to address the poor spiritual performance? The Lord always puts you to the fire and puts you to a test and gives you the next level of what I want you to do. And it may be a posture that you haven't done before. It may be a posture that's new to you. It may be a posture you're not familiar with. Israel wants to live in these old loops, in these routines. Well, I did this, and this. I did this, and this. And this is always going to be how it always is. It's always going to be this way, so I always do it this way. Well, how about the Lord requires you to solve problems in a moment? It's called spiritual problem solving. And if I'm not using the scriptures, getting counsel, addressing my vice, checking myself, then I can't solve the spiritual battles that are in front of me.
And if I want to get St. John 17 and 14 real quick. St. John 17 and 14.
Mm-hmm.
Because we read earlier in Ecclesiastes chapter 2, where it says, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for what? Temptation, right? Read St. John 17, read that in verse 14.
St. John chapter 17 and verse 14. I have given them thy word.
So, don't you come to serve the Lord, and you come to adopt and understand His word when you serve the Lord? Isn't that why we built a Bible school? Isn't that why we go to Bible study? Isn't that why we study the Bible? Is so we can understand His word? But one thing that people don't understand is you got a notebook full of notes, and you got a binder full of classes and counsels.
Yeah.
But what people don't understand is when you get the word of the Lord, it comes with weight. It comes with accountability. It comes with responsibility. You don't get the word of the Lord and get to have His word without no test. You don't get to have His understanding without no commitment to His word. He says, I have given them thy word, and there's a responsibility and expectation for the Most High. When you do have the Most High's word, what are you going to have to understand the minute you start getting the word of the Lord? Read on.
And the world hath hated them.
And what's going to happen when you got the word of the Lord?
And the world hath hated them.
So how are you going to navigate life when you got the word of the Lord? You got to be able to navigate hate. That means that when you get the word of the Lord, comes instant enemies. Enemies are going to be coming at you. Enemies are going to be coming for you. And in the case of Jonathan, These are actually real enemies. These are actually real, tangible, physical adversaries in war. Why is Jonathan fighting enemies? Because he wants to preserve the word of the Lord. Because he wants to preserve his culture. He wants to preserve his people. He wants to sustain the fear of the Lord in the land that's being overrun by Greeks. Why do we have a church? Why do we have a school? Because we want to do the same thing. We're trying to preserve our culture. We're trying to preserve the Most High, His laws, statutes, and commandments in a world full of the alphabet crew.
Yeah.
LBGTQCH.
Leftists, neo-leftists, alphabets, Zionists, and all kinds of stuff in the world.
It's all kind of things that's attacking
just bad dudes.
The mind frame of our people.
Yeah.
So, from bad, we have no real leadership.
And the criminal
element. Red is not a real leader.
The criminal element in the
Cardi B is not a leader. The boule is not leadership.
The boule is not leadership. The bad
Medea is not a leader.
The entertainers.
Yeah. So we're trying to protect our culture too. Mm-hmm. So you know what that means? When you come serve the Lord, enemies are coming. People are going to hate you for you trying to preserve the word of the Lord.
Exactly.
Read on.
And the world has hated them because they are not of the world.
Because you're an instant adversary to the world the minute you get the Most High's word. The world's going to turn. Sometimes your family even turn on you when you got the word of the Lord.
Yeah.
So what is the expectation for the Most High? For you to leave the world? I just want to get rid of myself? I want to off myself? Is that the answer? I can't take the world? No, that's not the answer. Read on.
Even as I am not of the world.
Read on.
I pray not that thou shouldest take them out of the world.
So quitting is not a what? Option. Quitting is not an option. If quitting was an option, Christ would have said, Lord, please take them out. Don't let them have to deal with the hate. Don't let them have to deal with the enemies. So quitting is not an option. That's why he said, don't take them out of the what?
Of the world.
Read on.
But that thou shouldest keep them from the evil.
From the evil.
From the evil. That's it. Preserve them.
What's evil?
The evil is the influence.
Yes.
It's the influence of the world.
The influence, the outside. I had to say it, but demons are real. They're real, and they wanna harp. They wanna harp on your pre-existing fears. They wanna harp. They wanna play on. They wanna pimp on your trauma. I hate to say it.
Yeah.
The demons want to pimp your trauma. They know the wounds you come here with. Everybody comes to the truth with wounds. Or you're in the truth and you get wounds in the truth. That happens too. And these outside negative spirits want to play on that to keep you separated from the Lord.
Yeah.
To keep you separated from your best potential. To keep you separate from being your best, your love.
Yeah.
You know what that scripture?
God.
Okay.
You got something?
Yeah. 1 John 4:18.
I'm done with the scripture. I just want to say that Christ didn't give an exit. He didn't give an exit because that wasn't an option.
Yeah.
Quitting is not an option. So that there's a responsibility that you have to have when you got the word of the Lord. So you can't quit. You can't give up. You gotta have fortitude. You gotta have faith. That's all I want to bring out. Go ahead, Dog.
And St. John, I love the point you made. That last point you made about preserving your culture. 4:18. Preserving your culture, preserving your marriage, preserving your children's perspective with the Father.
You know this is also preserving the idea and thought that serving the Most High this way works.
Yes.
Because there's so many Israelite examples of failed marriages, failed plural marriages, failed service to the Father,
failed households,
and we have to fight to prove that serving the Most High
works.
Being humble, doing things the right way works. Because there's so many examples of how it doesn't work. And it leads to despair of the nation. We have to fight every day to prove that raising children in this realm works. That we can create a culture of serving the Most High to help kids fight to want to serve the Most High after they go through their young ages. We have a lot of work to do to prove that this lifestyle works.
I like what you said. Works, because faith without works is dead. That's why it's one thing to say, yeah, I have faith, but you can have faith, but do you use it? Using faith means I put faith to the test and I actually apply it
In the real.
in real time. So that because if I say I got faith, where's the evidence of my faith other than not quitting, other than keep fighting and keep going and being resilient, and not letting the situation control me, and not being overthrown and overrun by fear.
Yep.
Then I'm actually putting faith in application. Now I'm showing that faith does work, and that's what our job is to demonstrate faith. Does faith in the Lord work over 10-year or a 10-year span? Does faith work over a 5-year span, a 20-year span, a 30-year span? I know I just came in when you talking about you came in at such a young age. Mm-hmm. Has the Most High ever let you down?
No. And every loss, every step back, or everything I might have endured was a spiritual lesson. And the question is, do you value the spiritual lessons the way the Most High gives it to us?
Yeah.
Do you value the lessons? Listen, the same question will be for David. Did David value the lesson of being on the run for over 10 years? What was the lesson?
Or was that that's a bunch of BS?
Yeah, exactly. Why would you say that? Why would you mess with my head, Father? Tell me I'm going to be the king and be on the run for 10 years. That ain't fair.
That's why I quit the truth, David. That's why David quit the truth.
Shalom, y'all. I'm just up in Hebron chilling, man. Because I didn't see it. It didn't make no sense. But the Most High had me on the run for 10 years and with a king that wasn't going to give us power.
Yeah.
That's how a carnal person looks at
That's
things.
David's story. David's possible story.
Brother, if he was carnal.
And he was carnal, yeah.
That's the point. Well, so, there's a scripture that talks about how we're supposed to look for everything that the Most High puts us through in the good. I'm paraphrasing it.
Whatsoever be good, whatsoever be hopeful, whatsoever be lovely.
No. There's a verse that talks about
all things work for the good for them that love the Lord.
Yes.
I put it.
What's that verse? Is it 8 and 28? I think it is. Yeah, read that. Romans 8 and 28.
Romans chapter 8 and verse 28. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love the Most High.
Do y'all believe that? Do you believe that whatever the Most High is putting you through, whatever ups and downs and challenges and difficulties, or when you're reading Ecclesiastes 2, every temptation I'm going through, every time I'm abased, every time I'm brought to a lower state, do you believe that everything I'm going through, everything I'm suffering, is for what is for, is put together, all these things work out together for the good to them that love the Most High? Do you believe that? That's a real question.
Yeah, we're in the middle of World War III. And it's, your faith is going to be put to the test. Our faith is going to be put to the test even more so than what it is as oil prices rise, as food prices rise.
It ain't stopping, bro.
As all these things increase, our faith is going to have to be that much more solid and concrete.
I just want to bring this up that I would just look at my phone. Trump literally said today, now keep in mind, there's already bombing of Tehran. They're already bombing of most of the infrastructure in Tehran. Iran in response is blowing up planes, taking military men hostage. He just said, we're giving y'all 48 hours or we're going to bring even more severe pain to you. What the hell else is left besides tactical nukes?
Right.
What else can you do besides, there's only a couple things you got in your hand of destruction. You can destroy your desalination plants, which is what they're going to probably do. Besides your desalination plants, they're going to sit back here and drop a tactical nuke. What else you got? And then if they get hit, if the Iranian desalination plants get hit, then who else's desalination plants get hit? Israel's, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and UAE. You think this is getting better? Because then once Israel and Saudi lose their desalination plants, meaning everybody would have to evacuate because they're going to die. There's not going to be any clean water. Saudi Arabia's in the middle of the damn desert. Once you take those plants away, the only thing left is to drop a nuke. There's not much else left to do. Just making it clear. But I just want to say that on your point about World War III.
Because what does that mean? That means that we gotta lock into what faith is. But you know what helps as things get progressively worse? the little battles that we had from COVID-19 when people was fighting over toilet paper?
Yep.
Did you run out of toilet paper? When there was a 2 meat limit, you had 2 meat limit, 2 packs of meat limit, 2 packs of chicken or 2 packs of beef, whatever you're getting.
Yeah.
There's a 2-pack limit in the store. Did you not eat? When all the stores had, well, I remember when Walmart was only letting in 5 people at a time.
Yep.
There's only 5 people coming in at a time because it was too crazy. Or when it was a freeze and they would only let, because of the workers couldn't get to work and it was not enough workers to satisfy the customers, they only let 5 people in at a time. So you had to wait till 5 people shop while you wait outside and long line wrapped around the building. And you know what we had to do?
Okay.
Learn how to operate together.
Yep.
Learn how to pick up the phone and communicate.
Yep.
And be on good terms with one another.
Yep.
Because you know what that means? You can't function by yourself.
I know.
The Most High is forcing us to congregate and to come together one way or another.
Can I bring another example up? You know there was a band of Jews, right? Black Jews that went to Israel. And they said, you know what? We are Jews too. And the Amalekites say, you know, we really don't like y'all. So we're going to send y'all, take y'all to Dimona, where all the nuclear sludge is and all the nuclear waste is. So you guys can go stay in Dimona for a little bit, whatever. We ain't using that land anyway. Think about a nation that's money hungry and greedy for land. Send the black folks to this land. Why would the devil send some black folks to some of their land?
The good one.
Unless they knew it was bad land. That's one. These Jews didn't believe in Christ. So they were very imperfect in their procedure towards serving the Most High. Whatever the case is. Then around 2 years ago, did y'all hear that those Jews in Dimona were going to get kicked out?
Yeah.
So they got kicked out of Dimona. And there was a big frustration. The Jews were sitting back here and angry that the Amalekites kicked out the Jews. So from the outside, it looked like the Israelite, was being done wrong, which they were. But what does the scripture say? For we know that all things work together for good to them that love the Most High. So whether they sit back here or ignorant in their doctrine, the Most High still had enough love for them to remove them from Dimona so that they wouldn't taste these bombs that are happening right now. Because what would have happened if those Israelites were still in Dimona right now?
It would have been bombed.
The Iranians are bombing the hell out of Dimona right now. Because that Dimona is where the nuclear site is. So if we still stayed there, the Most High would have sat back here and killed his people. But what did he do? Let me remove them. Because I love them. But did it feel like love when they got kicked out? Does it feel like love when you go through the hell that you catch?
You get denied?
When you lose? When you're sitting back here and get brought to a lower state?
When the world hates you?
But can you believe and grasp the idea that whatever you're going through is to develop your spirit and he loves you? Because if you can't grasp that concept, that whatever bad you might be experiencing is really the Most High looking after you.
Just like you can't.
Think about the Dimona situation. When they had to leave somewhere, how did they feel? This is messed up.
Yeah.
I was trying to serve the Most High and do good, and now I don't have a place to stay. Where's going to be my next meal? How am I going to function? What's going to happen? Not knowing the Most High was really doing them a solid. The greatest solid he could have did. I'm going to remove my people from certain destruction.
You couldn't have seen this 2 years ago.
No, nobody saw that.
But do you believe the Most High has got your back or not? That's the point. That's the lesson. Can we sit back here and regardless of whatever setback or whatever snare we're getting brought low at, can you sit back here and process the idea that whatever I'm losing, whatever I'm suffering, can I sit back and see the good in it because the Most High is going to bring good? There is a lesson here. What is he teaching me?
Or when the company treats you bad and they kick you out, and then within a few months they go out of business.
God.
Who would have ever thought the Most High was preserving you from getting fired and losing everything, whatever you've accumulated on the job?
God.
You couldn't have seen that company you work for was going out of business. You couldn't have seen that everybody got fired and lost everything.
God.
You couldn't have seen that in advance, but it happens all the time.
You got a severance package.
Yeah.
'Cause I had a client like that. They kicked him out. I said, "You gotta go." They gave him all his money, all his bread. He got taken care of. Then a couple months later, everything collapsed.
But if
He got left with nothing.
But if we can see that, how the Most High looked after these Jews that live in Demona, that don't believe in Christ, if he had enough mercy for them, he ain't got mercy for you. So why are you forecasting doom and gloom whenever something in your life don't go the way you want it to go? Because you have no faith. But you expect to have no faith and get honored. How does that make sense?
Yeah, I can say that for myself, as being Jake coming to the truth. Both the job and the military unit I was with don't exist anymore.
Wow.
The job was torn down. That building that I worked for they wouldn't give me no. It was a glass ceiling. Anybody of color couldn't come out of that warehouse. Yeah. But that building got bought out and it don't even exist. Completely torn down. It don't even exist anymore. The company don't even exist. They went out of business.
Most High really defends us on different.
But you know what? If I would have said, nah, I don't know about this truth situation. I'm gonna stick with what I got. That's guaranteed.
It's a bad
You've been in the church.
It looks like a good gamble, though.
Yeah.
Like you roll the dice, and this is more. I can trust it. I don't know about this.
This is a long term. I'm looking at this down range. This is a long term decision I'm making. I'm thinking down range.
But once again, can we sit back here and see how the Most High is always looking after us?
Do you practice that?
No, you don't. That's the answer. We don't see how the Most High is looking after us. We can see that Demona story and say, whoa, that's cool. Most High looked after those Jews in Demona that don't believe in Christ.
That's not how I felt, though.
But you can't sit back here and see how the Most High daily loads you with benefits. You choose not to see how he loads you with benefits because you choose to see how I'm going to forecast doom in my life.
Just because.
Somebody put roots on me. You always got that negative outlook, guy.
Yeah.
That the worst is going to happen to me. Something bad's going to happen. That's why Christ said, ye of little faith. Like, we don't get it.
That's wickedness. Like you said, that is wickedness.
That's why he calls it wickedness. Because he's constantly looking after you. And even when he's bringing you down, there's a lesson there.
Didn't the scripture say, remember Lot's wife?
Kind of.
When the Most High was trying to remove Lot's wife out of a scenario, didn't want to leave.
Yep.
As a lesson, turn her to a pillar of salt, a monument of an unbelieving soul.
Of an unbelieving soul. A monument.
The
question is, are we going to become monuments?
Right.
Are my practices going to make me a monument of unbelieving soul? I'm going to sit here and just, you know what? I got to break this thinking. This thinking has to be broken.
And the thinking is, there's only one way. The answer is always do more for him. That's why it says, commit thy works to the Lord and thy thoughts will be established. The answer is always about improving your conduct, improving your outlook, improving how you carry yourself, improving your study habits, improving your positivity. The answer is always that. There's no other answer. And if that's the answer, if the answer is always working on changing what's inside of you, and if you change what's inside of you, your surroundings change, then you simplify things and you operate in that desperate only. To be desperate just means there's one answer. There's one solution. When things get bad, discipline yourself. When things aren't going the way you want, change more, sacrifice more, love more, break your hate in you, break your pride. That's the only answer. There's nothing else. And there's no need to focus on the bad that might happen if the only answer is to focus on changing what's inside of you. Because if that is always the solution, where's the space to be afraid and scared and doubt?
That is the solution.
The solution is just continuing your works.
That's why he said, think not how the wicked shall be destroyed, but how the righteous shall be saved.
So, and how does the righteous be saved? What am I breaking inside of you? What am I breaking inside of me? I was going to go when it came to this class after we got to First Maccabees 12. It was going to be how to gain access to the Spirit and how to gain access to how the Spirit works through you. Because everybody wants to know how to make the right decision, how to do the thing that's right, and how to stay in the Spirit of Christ, how to keep getting blessed, and how to keep getting acknowledged. We'll go into that next week. But the answer is simple. Are you sitting back here every day and just breaking your flesh and breaking your intentions and breaking the impurities of why you do what you do every day? The answer is simple. Why are you worried about if you're going to survive or not? Or if something's going to work out in your favor? You should be focusing that energy on breaking the evil inside of you.
Christ said, sanctify them through thy truth.
Con.
That word is true.
The cleansing is in perfecting what's inside of you. That's why, once again, worldly people understand how to fix themselves better than a Jew. A worldly person will sit back and look in the mirror and say, I got to get in the gym, bro. What's wrong with me? I got to change my diet. The Jew will sit back and be eating chicken and fries and fried foods damn day. I believe in Christ. I'm just eating on, slacking on fried foods. And wondering why they're sick and they got heart issues. Then we sit back and we want to get all spiritual and not do the work to change what's inside of you. Right or wrong.
We'll clown Christians about praying over pork, but then we'll sit here.
We want to work out.
We won't fix anything.
Listen, we'll have diabetes because we're eating too much fried chicken. Damn it, you won't get diabetes because you're eating pork. Come on, what kind of craziness is that?
You should eat pork.
And it's full, of course not. But what's the point? What good is telling the person that eating pork is against the law and you don't get sick when you're eating bad and you're getting sick? What's the damn difference?
Do I practice what I preach?
You're not. That's the point. So if you focus on breaking what's inside of you, that is where your confidence lies and your trust lies.
And there's no reason to fear. You don't have the reason to fear because you've been diligently operating in the Lord. So I have no reason to fear. I have the reason for the concept of my house to be overthrown.
Because when you have a dirty track record, hell, you ain't going to be afraid.
That's a real thing. And
listen, you have a dirty track record. Listen, like you said about riding dirty. When you're riding dirty and you making mistakes and you sinning and stuff, and then lights come in, oh, hey, this might not work out. You call the phone because you can't put it on here because the cops really get you. You call you, beep, 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 beep. Hey, I got you on speaker. Hey, man, there's a cop right behind me. There's going to be a problem, man.
Or you call and you say, hey, it's over. It's all over. Wait, get a phone call 11 o'clock. What's going on? It's all over.
Why is it all over?
Listen, y'all pick me up, bro. Let's not be able to call that. Hey, what are you doing?
Exactly.
So what was the point? The answer could have been, do you research the law? Do you research how to solve these tickets? Do you research on how to stop riding dirty? Israel doesn't invest their time. They put the extra energy on TikTok and cat videos and whatever.
They're just talking about the white man all them day long.
The white man's
versus fixing on you.
But the time that you are fixating on things that don't apply to you, that time could be in researching for solutions.
And gaining confidence in serving the Most High.
Maybe this herb will help. Maybe this diet will help. Maybe ask for this counsel help. Maybe this person is working for this person. Let me try their method a little bit. Or you know what? Okay, I don't feel like trying. Let me address my slothfulness. I'm slothful. I'm depressed. Let me attack my depression. I'm depressed because I think negative. Then let you keep getting to the root of the problem. Is my point. You have to keep expanding yourself to study.
And if you want to speed it up, then go ask for advice. Get a counsel. Because you can't see yourself better than somebody else can.
That's true.
Because your conscience will bear witness on what you're not doing. Yeah. But how often will we come with a real confession about what we've been doing?
We're liars, so when that don't happen.
Are we really gonna confess what we've been doing wrong?
No. Once in a blue. No. Once in a blue.
It's only when things
and when
get out of control.
Rock bottom.
Yeah. Then we'll come up with hey, I got some bad news. Doctor gave me some bad news. Now everything I've been doing is coming to the forefront. That's when we read it last week, or I think it was last Sabbath. How he said this is the disposition of men. It was in it was in the Josephus. In the Josephus, he said, read that right there, page 345. It says,
yep.
Oh yeah.
It says, it's in line 152. Top of 345, line 152.
God. Antiquity of the Jews, book 13, chapter 5, line 152. So they sent to Jonathan and professed they would be his friends and afford him assistance, for such is the temper of men.
He said, "This is the mind state and the disposition of men." Read.
That before they have had the trial of great affliction.
It says before they had a trial of great what?
Affliction.
Read on.
They do not understand what is for their advantage.
What we said, this is the average mind frame of man, is that until bad news comes, until bad things happen, we do not understand what.
It says, what is for their advantage.
We don't understand what's good for us. And that's both physical advantage,
Yep.
dietarily advantage, that's spiritual advantage, that's every advantage. Monetarily, you tell somebody about spending money and putting some money to the side, they'll never listen. It's not that important. Paying bills, being responsible, not important.
It's never important.
Changing your diet, eating healthy, not important.
Yeah.
You start treating another person right that you're in a relationship, not important.
Yep.
It's not that important.
It's so true though.
But it's always, or taking care of your car. Now you ain't got a car.
Yeah, that's real.
You know what I'm saying? But all these things, you could say anything to anybody's advantage, and it's not until things fall apart,
An engine blows.
then the engine blows.
Engine blow.
Then it's like, what I'm gonna do? Can I get a ride?
Yeah, bro.
Who gonna get me to work? Back and forth. You could have said, hey, bro, you need to look at that. You need to check that out. No matter what, you could be giving advice till you blue in the face. But it's not until something go wrong, then people will do what? Then they'll realize what? Damn, I should have listened. But read that part again, Taiwan.
It says, they have had the trial of great afflictions. They do not understand what is for their advantage.
Read.
But when they find themselves under such affliction,
It says, when I find myself under such affliction, read on.
they then change their mind.
Then I change my mind. Read.
And what it had been better for them to have done before they had been at all damaged.
So hindsight is 20/20, but it's only when I catch affliction, or only when I lose. Then I start to see things clear. Damn, I should have made a better decision. Now I should have made these changes. I should have been made these adjustments. I should have followed that counsel.
Yeah.
That was a good counsel the brother gave me.
Yep.
Hey, I should have been listening. The brother was telling me what to do, what not to do. I should have been listening. How come I wasn't paying attention? We went over this in class. This sounds familiar. But it didn't hit me. It didn't mean nothing to me. I heard everything the brother was saying. I heard everything the Bible was saying, but it just didn't hit me at the time.
I was focusing on there. Listen, how many times you in class and he said, man, that's talking about that sister.
Yeah.
But that's talking about that brother. Ain't talking about me.
This
That's talking
class,
about
that's
that
not
brother.
for me.
That's for that person.
I know
There's a lot of wicked Israelites in this,
Okay.
brother.
I'm not even going to take no notes. You know why I ain't taking no notes?
They ain't talking about me.
Because they ain't talking about me. I don't need this. That's why I don't put pen to paper. I don't put pen to paper and take it home and look at it again 2 or 3 times.
And work on it.
And say, well, is this possibly me?
Yep.
Is this possibly? Is the Bible talking about me or talking to? This is the most I
it's some
talk
other
about.
guys.
No, it's not for me. Y'all need this.
And that's how the Jew think.
Y'all should listen.
Y'all should listen. Y'all heard what the brother said. You heard what David said. You heard what he said. Y'all didn't listen. It's your fault. But he said it's not until that there's great affliction, then our ears open up.
Yeah.
Now our minds open up. Now our eyeballs open up. Now we pay attention.
Yeah.
Why does it have to be a fallout for us to pay attention?
Extreme events.
Extreme situations. It just shows you how we're so reluctant to change.
Oh yeah.
Very reluctant to change. Change takes a lot to get our attention. It takes a fallout and affliction to get our attention. And the Most High knows this. He knows this about his people. That's why he has to create certain situations to open your eyes. Remember what he said in Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 3. He said he suffered them to hunger so he can know what was in their heart, whether they would serve him or not. Well, the Most High got to make you hungry. He got to starve you out to find out what's inside of you.
Huh?
Does it got to be that extreme? With us, unfortunately, it does.
Yeah.
It does.
It does have to be extreme.
It's got to be extreme.
But he's extreme because we're extreme.
That's the point. He has to be extreme because we can't operate in moderation. So we got to sit back and turn up because we just don't process things the right way. Are there any questions so far? Sure there's no questions about this topic?
I got one scripture.
How much you going to say you got a question?
I got a scripture.
What's your scripture there? Yeah.
It's a simple.
I'm not tripping. I just thought you had another question.
1 John 4. 1 John 4 and 18.
1 John chapter 4 and verse 18. 1 John chapter 4 and verse 18. There is no fear in love.
Go up one scripture.
Verse 17. 1 John chapter 4 and verse 17. Herein is our love made perfect,
Read on.
that we may have boldness in the day of judgment.
Having that confidence when we deal with challenging situations.
Yeah, because half the time Listen, how many of us how many of us can say what Paul said? I fought the good fight. I did everything I could. And whatever my time is my time. How many of us can say that for sure? And if you can't, you have a lot of damn work to do.
Somebody ran out of gas again.
Oh.
We don't know where his daughter's at again.
I have my daughter with me, man. Ain't no guy just storming outside. What we gonna do?
I guess he's in Georgia.
He's in Georgia. No. Is that a bot that does that, or is it he's just literally pushing the button for everybody?
It's almost he's saying the same thing every time.
Yeah, but like, is he like doing it literally himself, or is like it's a bot? He like has.
I think he's pressing a mass text because we did a little research on him, and he has a whole bunch of people. He has a lot of people with this.
Anyway,
he's a national scammer.
Yeah. Well, in the Jew community.
Yeah, jerk guy.
But where were we at? Go back to your point.
It says there's no. Go one scripture.
1 John chapter 4 and verse 17.
Uh-huh.
Herein is our love made perfect, that we may have boldness in the day of judgment.
We're supposed to be doing things, establishing our thoughts, self-inventory, correction, getting outside perspective, checking the boxes from people that don't always agree with us. Because we like to check boxes for people that agree with us. What about checking boxes and getting critiques from people that don't agree with us?
That's how you grow.
We don't do that. That's how you know we're not serious about change, right? But it says that we may have what? Boldness. What is boldness? Confidence, faith, belief, trust.
Aren't you supposed to be confident? Sometimes people look at confidence as though you just got an ego. But when it's about changing and sacrifice what's inside of you, you're supposed to be confident because you put it on the line.
That's your craft.
The boldness is in the knowing that there is only one way I went and there's no turning back.
Yeah.
That's how you get bold. There's no other options. This is the one way. This is this or die. That's how you get your boldness in this. There's one way of looking at this, one way of fighting.
Only one. All my eggs are in one basket. I don't have this 10,000 option mindset. That plan B, C, D, E, F, G mindset.
Yeah.
Read.
That we may have boldness in the day of judgment. Because as he is, so are we in this world.
So Christ is persecuting this world, we will be too. But at the same time, Most High came through for Christ because Christ definitely sacrificed. Can we all say that? Mm-hmm. He definitely practiced obedience. So if we practice the same obedience, why would the Most High not be there for us? If he was there for Yahushua and every man, we're going into Jonathan, we're going to different patriarchs in Christ. They all maintained the same obedience. And they had a favorable outcome. Why would the Most High not give us a favorable outcome? The Bible says, whose faith what? Whose faith followed.
Whose faith followed.
Read.
There is no fear in love, but perfect love casteth out fear.
If I want to be a truly loving person, if I want to truly love the Most High, I have to work on my skepticism, my fear, my prognostication of grievous things in the future, my trauma and drama, and my flashbacks, and the vices I hold on to in response to my fears and my escapisms. Those things are all related. If I work on those things, then my fear to the Most High, my love for the Most High will increase. And how do we love the Most High? By believing in Him. The more we believe, the more we love. Read.
Because fear hath torment. He that feareth is not made perfect in love.
Fear has torment. You're going to live the next 10, 15 years of your life with a bunch of doubt, insecurities and fears and butterflies in your stomach and ulcers. And then project fear in your household members and project doubt on them. That's torment. Or what? Read.
He that feareth is not made perfect in love. We love him because he first loved us.
Do you have confidence in your relationship with the Father or not?
And that he first loved you and he's always been there for you.
Because he chose you. Because he gave you knowledge. Because you've been selected to be here. And because you've been putting in effort. You've got to put in better efforts, better works. Because you're submissive to his will. You have confidence in that.
He's telling you really can't have a relationship with him without love. And with that, and when you got fear in your heart, you don't love them.
Exactly. The fear and love are almost opposites.
Kinda.
That means that my fear is more important.
Yes.
And it takes priority over obedience.
That means choosing fear is choosing Satan.
And that's what we did in the wilderness. In the wilderness, we chose fear over obedience. We chose fear over submission. We chose fear over trust. We kept choosing fear. But fear doesn't come from the Most High. He's not the author of fear, right?
And who is?
Who is the author of fear?
The other guy.
Yeah. So when you choose fear, who are you choosing?
Satan. Yep. Keep going.
I think keep reading.
I mean, keep on your point. Is what I'm saying.
Keep reading.
If you want to keep reading, well, keep reading.
Verse 20.
Stop.
I think that's a great point that Delia's bringing out, where the Most High says, "Despise not small beginnings."
Yeah.
You know, the Most High is not asking us to climb mountains, but at least He's asking us to make the changes where He knows we can.
Yes.
Yep.
That means every man's and every woman's battle is customized and tailor-made for them to be able to overcome it. He's not asking us to have the faith of Abraham if we don't have the faith of Job or any other patriarch. But what He's given us is a template to follow.
Yes.
He's given us the template with these men's testimonies, with these stories. And I'm supposed to be reading, because faith cometh by hearing, and hearing the word of the Lord. So the more I'm reading the Bible, the more I'm picking up these stories. And I'm picking up these stories. It's not just faithful men in the Bible, it's plenty of faithful women.
Yes.
You mentioned Judith earlier.
Yep.
So there's a lot of people we could pull from, that we could be pulling faith from when their back was against the wall, or the scenario didn't look good, or when Moses had to float down a basket made out of wicker, a wicker basket, and a crocodile filled water, or whatever the case may be that goes on in Egypt. So look at the faith that it took for him to have to be pushed down the river to be found by a sister and nursed by a sister, or found by the sister, given back to the mom. Think about the faith that it took to overcome a situation where Abraham, the Most High, told him, "Go kill your son Isaac." And then at the last minute, put a ram in the bush. We're supposed to be taking from these men's testimonies, taking from these stories, and add them to our life, so that as we go through different battles in life, traumatic situations, the Most High we can adopt their mentality. We can adopt their disposition. We can adopt their mind frame. So the Most High has given us enough so that we can handle it. It's not asking us more than what we're able to do or deliver. But even in our situation, sometimes life is getting the best of us. My job is getting the best of me. The people around me is getting it. They're getting under my nerves. They're getting on my skin. I can't stand the situation I'm in. But am I looking at the situation right? He said, "Despise not small beginnings." Do I hate the fact that the Lord's put me in a situation where I have to have faith?
Yeah, I don't like the fact that I'm always starting from scratch, or I'm always behind, because that I'm always behind mindset, that makes people. There's no reason to try. I got a long way to go. You got a long way to go. Well, can't despise small beginnings. Then take the first step. Even Moab got that. The Chinese man got that one down pat. He said the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. He knows that.
Yeah.
We got the scriptures. Despise not these small beginnings. If you're behind in your faith, just be honest and say, "I'm behind." If you're behind your confidence, then say, "I'm behind my confidence." If you have issues in, what's the word for it? Insecurity, then it's time to talk about it. It's time to have these conversations.
Your works got you in that spot.
But it's time to acknowledge the flaws, have the conversations, and put in the actions.
I'm weak at this.
Yeah. I'm not very organized. My study ethic is poor. Sometimes I feel like quitting often. I have negative tangents. I have emotional outbursts. Okay, these things all fuel your fear.
Oh, I never finished anything I ever started in my life.
I never finished, so I don't know why I'm even here. I never finished.
I've quit everything I've done.
Yeah. I'm a 2-time loser.
Yeah.
You remember that 2 TL, 3 TL?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you said about that song, man. Anyway, I'm sorry.
No, that's all. It's an old statement, but I'm a 2 TL, 3 TL.
Never heard that before. Okay.
But people have these negative self-images that they commit to, and they don't replace that negative self-image with how the Most High looks at you.
Or I've never had a working relationship.
Yeah.
Every relationship I ever been in always failed.
That's correct.
The person has always left me.
Mm-hmm.
I was always the one committed to a relationship that always failed.
Then can we dissect that? And find out what spiritual premise the Most High wants you to commit to? We don't dissect the issues and never get to the root of the problem.
But I'll put more faith in people than the Most High.
Yep. I'll put faith in negative, doubtful prognosticators. Either mine or people I attract with me that share the same sentiment. That's the problem. We get in personal echo chambers, and we collect people that have the same negative sentiment as ourselves. So now you make it twice as hard to escape. Because when you're trying to believe, that person's saying, you're tripping. Don't believe. Practice doubt. You're surrounding yourself and you're enveloping yourself with people that are doubtful. That's why David said, I would not sit with the what? Wicked person. Now, according to this class, what's wicked? Fear. David's not entertaining fear. What did God say? He said, don't go to war with the what? Coward. So cowardice, fear, those things you're not supposed to entertain because you're supposed to be attacking your own cowardice and your own fears. Because that will give you the love you need to be perfect with the Father.
You ever been scared of elevator and then decide to step in one? What's going to overcome? What spirit going to jump in you?
Fear.
Yeah,
You see that elevator, like that little movement, that little move. You understand? You step in the elevator, it goes down a little bit. I'll be like ready to come out.
Yeah.
I just double check.
Yeah.
Okay, it's good.
But that's what the Most High is really asking us to do.
Yeah.
When He's asking us to overcome our fear. The thing, everybody's not afraid of elevators, but if you are, there's a brother that we have on jobs that he'll take the stairs. It don't matter how many stairs we got. It'd be like a high-rise building. We do a job at a high-rise. The brother will refuse to get on the elevator. He'll be like, listen, man, y'all, I'm going to take the stairs. Like, damn, brother, you going to take 16
It's
stairs?
like BA from 18, man. BA's not getting that plane.
Yeah, it's not getting on it, man. It's not getting it. It's not getting on it. But this brother will literally run up and down stairs because just the idea, when you got 6 brothers in the elevator, he just can't take the elevator. He just cannot get on it. He's a couple of times he got on it, and it kind of hesitated to open.
Oh man, it almost did
But
that.
he did try.
He did try though.
And the spirit say, "Are you sure you want to believe?" Like, I'll take them stairs. I'm winded. The question is, what are you prepared to do to drive out these Philistines in your life? These Philistines are the proverbial Philistines, are all the excuses, all the reasons, all the traumas, all the doubts, all the negative experiences, all the negative statements that we harp onto. Are you going to push those Philistines out your life and increase your borders so you can serve the Lord? Or not? And be a slave to those Philistines. But those Philistines are the proverbial doubts, fears, and traumas. Are you going to be a servant to trauma? Or are you going to be a servant to Christ? Somebody put in a statement?
No, just read it. Go ahead.
No. Are you going to be a servant to trauma or Christ? Doubt or Christ? Self-hatred and self-loathing? Because that fear, we don't got to keep going, but that fear demon it evolves into self-hatred. Because you'll see other people that are smiling and they're believing and they're confident and their back is up and their body language is posture strong and their life is going well. And you start to look at your life versus their life, and then either you'll be envious, or if you're not going to be envious, the spirit will go back to you and you start reversing and start, I'm just not good enough. I'll just never be good enough. You start practicing self-hatred, self-loathing. Then you have real mental issues. Because wherever you touch, how can the Most High bless what you touch if you practice self-loathing and you practice self-hatred? How can He really bless what you touch, what you deal with? It's not in His image. The Most High created man in His what? His image. Is the Most High a person that hates himself? He don't. Well, this is about, at the root of this class, this is about, I hope people get at this class, what am I prepared to do to make somebody
question?
So in a sense, it takes courage to overcome fear, but your courage has to come from the love of the Most High.
And the trust that the Most High has got you, and He's looking after you. Yes, sir.
That you built though, in the process of breaking yourself. I'm in the process of like you break your body. I've been breaking my body. You tear on your muscle, what happens with your muscle? It regrows, but how does it regrow? Stronger. If it happens with the body, why did the Most High create the body like that? That's the same way He created the spirit. The body has to have circulation, right? Doesn't the spirit have circulation? You have to have the spirit just flowing through you and flowing through you. The body needs electrical charge or spirit to animate it, right? It needs signals from the brain to animate it, right? Don't we need signals from the Most High, from the Spirit, to animate us? The body and the scriptures and the physical body and the Most High Spirit, He tries to give you these metaphors so you can see how to operate. He tears you down, but to do what? Build you up. Like the man, he got in the elevator, he tried, and then one time he tried, what happened? The elevator did trip. It did. That's just checking. Do you really believe? Is that clear? So, I mean, I think the class has been pretty much.
I want to just bring one point out of Philo, page 806.
Yeah.
As Philo says about fear, he says this is said because in the first place, the change of nature of living is one kind of death. Meaning, when your living situation, you're thriving, you're not thriving. You're actually failing to survive. Your body's giving up, whatever. That's one kind of death. You get old. He says, which that's natural. He says, but continual sorrow and unmixed fear are destitute of joy and devoid of all good hope. And so they bring on many terrible and various evils, which are so many sensible deaths. Which meaning, if you live in a state of unmixed, if you have a bunch of unmixed fear, meaning you have a bunch of highs and lows, and you're destitute of joy, he says you're dying every day. You're dying daily. Yeah, that's a daily death. So having that imbalance, I believe, I don't believe, I can't be happy, nothing makes me happy, I'm robbed of all joy, I can't see nothing good. He said that's a daily death. So he's showing you how to get out of that cycle. That's a destructive cycle that you can put yourself into, is never finding joy, destitute of all joy, and having a bunch of unmixed fear. Someday I believe, I don't believe. I want to believe, I can't believe. I just don't have any courage. I want to have courage, I don't have courage. But there's no to live in that middle ground is death in itself. It doesn't do you any good. So either believe or don't. Either have faith or don't. Or you're going to have doubt. But to live in the middle is death itself. He describes that as a type of death.
That gray area.
That gray area. So he's saying how it's best to overcome fear and put it behind you. And I think class is going that way heavily. About overcoming our own personal fear. All of us have fears.
Yep.
But they can't dictate our life's decisions. They can't dictate our spirituality and our commitment to the Most High, regardless of what it is.
Got it.
That's a horrible way to live.
So we're going to leave it at that and send our prayers up. Are there any other questions before we shut it down? Okay. Imagine Wapanya Yerah Shalom.
Stand and face the east.
Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Please listen to us right now.
Please listen to us right now.
Send Michael out.
Send Michael out.
And the righteous angel.
And the righteous angel.
To watch over.
To watch over.
Bless.
Bless.
Heal.
Heal.
Protect.
Protect.
And make strong.
And make strong.
People of Yahshua.
People of Yahshua.
Also send unto us.
Also send unto us.
Much wisdom.
Much wisdom.
Much knowledge.
Much knowledge.
Much understanding.
Much understanding.
Much patience.
Much patience.
Much faith.
Much faith.
Much brotherhood.
Much brotherhood.
And much love.
And much love.
Spiritual power.
Spiritual power.
And forgive all of our sins.
And forgive all of our sins.
Yahweh Shai come quickly.
Yahweh Shai come quickly.
For in thee.
For in thee.
Is our hope.
Is our hope.
Always.
Always.
And forever.
And forever.
Amen.
Amen.
Barakatah Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai.
Barakatah Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai.
Ahawah. Nethal Lenawa. Athavarah.
Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai that gives to us the law.
Barakatah Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai.
Barakatah Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai.
Ahawah. Nethal Lenawa. Awar.
Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai that gives to us light to see.
Barakatah Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai.
Barakatah Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai.
Ahawah. Nethal Lenawa. Ha'ayah. Kwara. Ha'ayin.
Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai that gives to us the ram's horn to call the people.
Barakatah Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai.
Barakatah Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai.
Ahawah. Nethal Lenawa. Shaman. Zayat. Lamashah. Yashua.
Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai that gives to us the olive oil to anoint Israel.
Psalms 92. It is a good thing to give thanks unto the Lord.
It is a good thing to give thanks unto the Lord.
And to sing praise unto thy name.
And to sing praise unto thy name.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
To show forth thy loving kindness in the morning.
To show forth thy loving kindness in the morning.
And thy faithfulness every night.
And thy faithfulness every night.
Upon an instrument of 10 strings.
Upon an instrument of 10 strings.
And upon the psaltery.
And upon the psaltery.
Upon the harp.
Upon the harp.
With the solemn sound.
With the solemn sound.
For thou Yahweh.
For thou Yahweh.
Hast made me glad through thy work.
Hast made me glad through thy works.
I will triumph.
I will triumph.
In the works of thy hands.
In the works of thy hands.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
How great are thy works.
How great are thy works.
And thy thoughts are very deep.
And thy thoughts are very deep.
A brutish man knoweth not.
A brutish man knoweth not.
Neither doth a fool understand it.
Neither does a fool understand.
When the wicked spring is the grass.
When the wicked spring is the grass.
And when all the works of iniquity do flourish.
And when all the works of iniquity do flourish.
It is that they shall be destroyed forever.
It is that they shall be destroyed forever.
But thou Yahweh.
But thou Yahweh.
Art most high forevermore.
Art most high forevermore.
Forload thy enemies.
Forload thy enemies.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
Forload thy enemies.
Forload thy enemies.
Shall perish.
Shall perish.
All the works of iniquity.
All the works of iniquity.
Shall be scattered.
Shall be scattered.
But my horn shalt thou exalt.
But my horn shall thou exalt.
Like the horn of a unicorn.
Like the horn of a unicorn.
I shall be anointed.
I shall be anointed
with fresh oil.
With fresh oil.
Mine eye also shall see.
My eye also shall see.
My desire.
My desire.
And my enemies.
My enemies.
And my ears shall hear.
And my ears shall hear.
My desire.
My desire.
Of the wicked.
Of the wicked.
That rise up against me.
That rise up against me.
The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree.
The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree.
He shall grow.
He shall grow.
Like a cedar in Lebanon.
Like a cedar in Lebanon.
Those that be planted in the house of the Lord.
Those that be planted in the house of the Lord.
Shall flourish in the courts of our power.
Shall flourish in the courts of our power.
They shall still bring forth fruit in old age.
They shall still bring forth fruit in old age.
They shall be fat and flourishing.
They shall be fat and flourishing.
To show that the Lord is upright.
To show that the Lord is upright.
He is my rock.
He is my rock.
There is no unrighteousness in him.
There is no unrighteousness in him.
By Shem Yahushua.
By Shem Yahushua.
Psalms 133. Shayar.
Shayar.
Hama Iowa.
Hama Iowa.
La Duwad.
La Duwad.
Hana.
Hana.
Ma.
Ma.
Tawa.
Tawa.
Wama.
Wama.
Naayam.
Naayam.
Shabbat.
Shabbat.
Akim.
Akim.
Gum.
Gum.
Yachad.
Yachad.
Hashaman.
Hashaman.
Hatawad.
Hatawad.
Ayam.
Ayam.
Hara'at.
Hara'at.
Yarad.
Yarad.
Ayam.
Ayam.
Hazakwan.
Hazakwan.
Zakwan.
Zakwan.
Aharad.
Aharad.
Shayarad.
Shayarad.
Ayam.
Ayam.
Payah.
Payah.
Madawafiwa.
Madawafiwa.
Katal.
Katal.
Haramwan.
Haramwan.
Shayarad.
Shayarad.
Ayam.
Ayam.
Aroria.
Aroria.
Tazayawan.
Tazayawan.
Hayah.
Hayah.
Sham.
Sham.
Tazawa.
Tazawa.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Habaraka.
Habaraka.
Hayayim.
Hayayim.
I. Hamulah.
Hamulah.
By Shem Yahushua.
By Shem Yahushua.
Psalms 133 in English. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. It is like the precious ointment upon the head that ran down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard, that went down to the skirts of his garments, as the dew of Hermon, and as the dew that descended upon the mountains of Zion. For there the Lord commanded the blessing, even life evermore. Amen.
Amen. Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
By Shem.
By Shem.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
By
Yahweh.
By Shwali.
By Shwali.
By Yad.
Yad.
Quiet.
Support.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
By Shem.
By Shem.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
By
Yahweh.
By Shwali.
By Shwali.
By Yad.
Yad.
Support.
Support.
Turn. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
By Shem.
By Shem.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
By Shwali. By Yad. Support.
Support.
Turn. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
By Shem.
By Shem.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
By Shwali. By Yad. Support. Rock the hoe.
Rock the hoe.
Rock the hoe shot.
Rock the hoe shot.
Rock the hoe.
Rock the hoe.
Rock the hoe shot.
Rock the hoe shot.
Rock the hoe.
Rock the hoe.
Rock the hoe shot.
Rock the hoe shot.
Rock the hoe.
Rock the hoe.
Rock the hoe shot.
Rock the hoe shot.
All knowledge.
All knowledge.
All wisdom.
All wisdom.
All understanding.
All understanding.
All mercy.
All mercy.
All patience.
All patience.
All grace.
All grace.
All power.
All power.
From your house.
Is from Yahweh.
All power.
All power.
From your house.
From Yahweh.
All power.
All power.
From your house.
Is from Yahweh.
By Shem.
By Shem.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
What?
The water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aman.
Aman.
So, look.
Saluting out in the heavenly order. Yahweh. Wa Yahweh Shai. Okriya Shalom. Men of Israel. Baruch.
Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakatham.
Hold me something.
Shalom.
Hold me something.
Hold me shalom.
Hold me something.
Hold me shalom.
Top. Turn and face sister, please stand. Mom Shabbat. saluting out the daughters of Zion, men of Israel, Majid, Barak,
Yahweh Shema Alatam Ba'Hashem Yahushai. Yes, what's up? Dismiss. Barak. Israel, to tuning in. See y'all on Monday, all right? Shalom.